Howdy.
What's up?
What's
Hi.
happening?
Long time no see, y'all.
I'm just adjusting the Facebook post because I can't. It's the only thing I don't like about StreamYard is I can't set up the tags before, so I have to type
Oh,
it out, make it when I click the live, it goes live, but then I have to go back into my page, edit the post, and then do the tags. So that's what I'm doing right this second.
well, thank you. How's it going, Lexi, Andrew, Stoltz, Soulgasm?
Damn, we already got all these people on here. I think 7 o'clock might be a better hit.
7 o'clock, it just seems like it would be a better hit, you know? It's better for me, at least.
Yeah.
But
What's up, man?
I feel like I am going to get bit up tonight. I forgot to put on bug spray before coming out here.
Oh, shoot.
Man.
Yep.
What's up, Bill?
Bill Calhoun.
315 Customs in the house.
Timing for Andrew. That's good to hear, because it's probably going to be the time that we have the good old Disturbing the Peace podcast, which it will soon turn into the Disturbing the Peace single sub test.
Yes.
You know,
Be very exciting stuff coming up.
very exciting stuff for the Disturbing the Peace.
Speaking of, I need to send somebody a message real quick before we.
Yeah, get him in here, even if he's just like chilling with us, you know.
Yep.
But what's up, Josh, Eric, Hustleman, Jones? So if y'all didn't know already,
What's up, Josh?
this is Disturbing the Peace, where me and Mike J, we talk, chit chat about audio, and we bring in special guests, which tonight we have two. Kristen from JS Alternators, as you can see above. She's got some really cool stuff to talk about tonight. We're going to give her the mic first before we go to JD, which he makes really, really amazing boxes. He does offer financing, all that type of good stuff. I share his content. If you haven't seen it already, you really need to, because super crystal clean work, and it's loud too. It's not just something that you're going to get out of a prefab, whatever. It's going to be custom made, and you're going to account for the transmission tunnel. So that's always a
Let
big.
me clarify that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's always big here. And thank you for the stars, Josh Kingsmore. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and talk JS alternators for a little bit. So, Kristen, can you just kind of give us a rundown on JS alternators as a whole?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm Kristen with JS Alternators. In 2000, for those of you who don't know, in 2013, my father started the business. He is the JS. So it's Jonathan Smith is his first and last name. So he is the JS in JS Alternators. But yeah, so it's a family-owned business. We've been around since 2013. He started it in his garage. So the OG people from back in the day that used to buy alternators, you probably went to his yard to buy your alternator or get your regulator changed or whatever. But yeah, that's a little bit about us. We family-owned business, and JS is Jonathan Smith. He's a little shy. I don't know if very many people have met him in person, but he did do car audio whenever we were growing up. So whenever I was growing up, I attended to a lot of car audio shows with him in the 90s. It was definitely way different back then. I was also a kid, so I didn't really know any better. But
yeah,
I definitely remember times back then to where we are now. And do you guys know who Steve Sorrentino is?
Yes,
absolutely.
Steve.
So he used to be on a team with Steve Sorrentino way back in the 90s. And a lot of people don't know this, but Steve Sorrentino sold my dad the first batch of alternators that he sold.
Really?
That's basically kind of how my dad saw that, well, wow, these are selling like hotcakes. So that's kind of how he started the business. Um, so yeah, a lot of people don't know that fun fact, but they used to be on a team together, and he sold them the first batch of alternators that basically started the rise of JS alternators. And then there's a lot more stuff from then to now between, but we won't get into all that. But yeah, that's a little bit about us.
That's really awesome to see a family company, not only grow but grow to the next generation too. It's really awesome. That's
Yes,
cool.
we had my nephews here yesterday. They're like 5 and 7, and they're like, "Can we work for JS Alternators when we get older?" I'm like, "Yes, totally. Come on, we will pass it down to you."
I love it. And you guys are look. I've the first time I met you guys officially was Made of Steel after the show.
Yeah,
You guys had an Airbnb, which was
yeah.
amazing, by the way. And I wasn't part of the team or anything. I didn't even know you guys. You invited the wife and I out to come out, barbecue, do the pool, hang out, whatever.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, all of you guys were super kick ass, like the nicest people you could ever meet. And honestly, like there's a ton of businesses, small businesses, family businesses, and it's like the perfect mix for like the perfect business. The nicest people, the best products you can buy for like honestly the alternators, the support, everything about you guys is like top notch.
We appreciate that. And that was definitely a fun night too. When I remember meeting you and your wife,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was like, I may have had a few too many beers, and I was like, I really love you guys. You were my favorite couple I've ever met. Yeah, that was a fun night. Yeah.
Honestly, it probably wasn't the beers because Mike and Christy are like
You're right.
seriously one of the best groups of people that I've ever met.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, you stop it. And it's really cool about the Steve Sorrentino thing there. Did not realize that Steve went that far back with JS. That's really cool. He's a great guy. Finally got a demo in his vehicle at the Sundown show this last year and made him turn it up louder than what he did that day for anybody else. So I was very privileged. But he's a great guy.
He is. I don't know him that much. I just know of him and have seen him when I was a kid, and then saw him at Sundown show. And he told me a lot of interesting stories about him and my dad back then. I'm like, I do not want to know that. Thanks for.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything the guy hasn't done. I mean, I only know him from car audio, but I think he dabbles in like every single aspect. Or if he doesn't, he did, or he will. I feel like.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's up, Kalana? Shelby Hastings. How's it going? Oh yeah, thank you, Lexi Ricker, for the
thank you, and Josh. Like they're picking it up.
Oh yeah, Josh just sent some more. Oh yeah, JS in the house. Kalana. How do you say his last name? Letter.
I was more curious on how you said the first name.
Steve's in the house.
Honestly, I only know the Kalana because he made a video on TikTok a very long time ago on how to say his name.
Oh crap!
Yeah,
you got it right though. He just said, "Yep."
Yep.
Hey, there he is, right there.
Yep, we're talking about
Bing.
That guy. He doesn't like to turn up his build for people. No.
The
Goomba. Hey, thank you, Blaine.
Thanks, Blaine. Yeah, so JS Alts, you got something in the background here that I don't think anybody has, unless they've been to possibly a show lately. Because I saw them in
Sundown.
I think did I see one in Florida, like the first one you did? It was like Chrome.
You might have, yeah, because Ryan was testing them out on his Blazer, yeah.
Yeah, so I saw the first one in Florida. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't Florida. It was Scraping the Coast, right?
Yes, you're right.
Scraping the Coast is when I saw the first one. But go ahead and tell the people what's behind you, because I feel like it may not be for everybody, but there's a large group of people that are going to love this.
Hey, let's see a close up of the gold one.
Yep.
The gold one?
Yeah.
So this is the gold one for you. Log. Hold on. Let me get the camera right.
The log edition.
Mm. It looks
It's not
good.
the greatest lighting, but yeah, I'll tell you guys a little bit about them. So we haven't officially launched these yet. We're just kind of putting teasers out there about them. We're almost complete with stocking up the rest of what we need. That's all that we're waiting on is just finishing stocking them up so we have them ready to go. But these are our new billet series, GM billet series. They are branded JS alternators. We took a lot of time on this. Yes, thank you. I think it is a good looking alternator too. So, me and Ryan Collins, he works with us as well. Some people know Ryan Collins. We designed the billet.
He's in the house.
Ryan, yep. Oh look, he said scrape at the coast. So we spent some time on this and we designed them. We really wanted to do something different because obviously all of our competitors offer billet series as well. We are a little bit behind the ball on offering those, but we saw a need for them and we wanted to kind of put our brand out there a little bit more. They do perform better cooling wise. That's what we have determined. They're better for performance as well. But we only have the red, black, it's backwards on here, the chrome. So that's unfinished this billet. We have the blue and then the gold. We will be having other colors in the future. We're working on that now, more of the poppy, shiny, like neon colors.
Yeah.
But yeah, so these will be dropped in a few weeks. We will offer a 370 amp and a 400 amp in them. I was going to bring the pricing with me, but you'll just have to wait to see the pricing.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's still competitive within our competitor range. We're not overpricing them. But yeah, so we're really excited about them. You'll see the launch of them. They'll be live on our website within about a week or two. Like I said, we're just waiting to finish stocking the rest.
Are these anodized or powder coated?
They are anodized.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So it's
Way
anodized
better.
and then laser engraved. So we have a local anodizing shop here that anodizes it for them within like a day. So that process is very quick for us. And then we laser engrave them in house. That was a technique we had to learn as well. But yeah, and it has to be very precise because, oh, that's my twin sister, by the way.
I saw her sneak in.
If you see the indentation on it, so that's machined and then we laser engrave on top of it. So the laser engraving, everything has to be precise with the machining and the engraving. So it took a lot of time. It's taken us several months to do, but I think they came out great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, the anodizing is way better.
It is
I'm
cleaner.
not super savvy on alternators. So what is the difference between the billet? I guess it's going to be like a GM large case and similarities on. Okay, so how does it compare to outputs at idle and at say you're given a certain RPM range of 2,000 RPM, 1,800 in relation to what you're
still going to have the same performance as if it was in a different case. The main difference is grounding. When you ground the alternator, you'll have a longer lasting the way that it operates with grounding on the billet. It'll last you longer than with the Dendo hairpin case for GM style. And it also, for a while, I thought the same. I'm like, what is the purpose of these? But they actually provide better cooling as well. So we're able to design the housing ourselves to create as much internal cooling as possible as we need versus just using what was already pre-designed and has pre-cooling specs. So with this design, we can change that to however we need for internal cooling purposes. And actually, we tested it with Ryan's alternator, and he had been demoing all day, and we could put our hand directly on the alternator, and it was just warm. It wasn't hot. It wasn't going to burn you.
Well, that'll be really good for heat soak charging voltages, especially playing all day. So that'll be a huge benefit for a lot of people that make a lot of shows.
Yeah, so it performs better. It just like dissipates heat better, and then the grounding purposes. So I didn't realize that until I started working on the design, and I realized the test results after. I'm like, well, this performs better than the GM housing.
Well, I haven't had a pleasure of running JS Alts. In fact, I've not owned a whole lot of vehicles I've put a high output alt in because honestly, I stay so busy with what I do that I don't focus on my own personal builds too often. But I can say from a lot of interactions with a customer basis that you guys come very highly recommended. I never hear much to nothing on the negative factor. So it's definitely a huge thing for me. And I'd love to see y'all grow and being a small family business, and I'm trying to bring my kids into the game with me.
I really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. And we had to work really hard to get to that point because when it was just me and my father and my sister, COVID hit, and for us, that made our business explode, and we were not ready for it. We had a bunch of orders that we just could not do. Like we were running around trying to get it done. That's really where our business took off, and we started changing everything. And we started getting a bad reputation during that time about, because we didn't have phones. We're just trying to build alternators, powder coat them, make the wires, and get them out.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of negative feedback during that time and negative reviews. And so we just started hiring more people, like, let's get some phones and this and that. So ever since then, it kind of really took off a lot. But so we try to make up for that time where people didn't think we were a real company. They thought we were a fake company. And it was just three of us trying to make it work.
I get it. It definitely had a very weird effect on people because some people that projected to have high sales just plummeted, and other people that were like, man, I don't know how we're going to get through this. It just took off. And I mean, I understand because I basically run this by myself over here. The supply and demand, you're not going to make everybody happy, and there's always going to be somebody that no matter what you do is always going to be pissed off. But
no matter what,
if you continue to push and do the right thing, it'll outweigh all the bad.
There's always user error too. With boxes or alternators, you're going to have somebody who just doesn't use the product right, no matter how much you tell them.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
yep. Yeah. We did have a few people that were questioning if you made an alternator for their vehicle. Do you make them for Scion XBs?
Yes, we do. I think it's a limited. I think we only offer one. You can check out our website and see if it's on there. I think it's the 1.5 liter off the top of my head. I know that we only offer one.
What about a 69 Buick?
Yes, we do a 250 and a 320 amp alternator. That.
Hell yeah.
Sorrentino said he's going to need 4 for his new Astro build.
Well, it's time for us to, you sold us the alternators that started the business, so I think we can help you out.
Well, he don't need that much amperage output if you don't always turn it up, though, right?
That's right.
He'd be cranking that thing.
Kalana wanted to know if the chances for billet on 04 to 12 Colorado in the future, I'm assuming, maybe.
So for that one, it depends on the liter engine of the vehicle because there's 2 different style alternators for that. Some of them are the GM style like this. So it may be available for you. Just depends on which one it is.
Right on. He's probably got that weird 5-cylinder.
Yeah, he's got a 2.4 liter.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
I don't know off the top of my head. It's one or the other.
06 Honda Element?
Weird bracket.
Yes, we do actually. A 250 and a 320 amp alternator, those.
Boom. There you go, Sean. A what? A Tahoe? Yeah, of course they got Tahoes.
Oh yeah.
We got some billets for the Tahoe right back here.
Boom, there you go, Josh.
You need a billet, Josh. 3 billets.
Come on, Josh, you'll do it.
2018 Subaru Legacy is going to be a no.
That's a no on that.
Dang.
Yeah, he does have the 2.4.
Now we got a 21 model F-150 with a 3.5.
3.5. I believe so. That would be a 250 all the way up to a 400 amp. I'm pretty sure, but just double check our website because there's so many alternators and I just can't remember all of them.
You're just rattling them off the top of your head, though. Like
I'll bet you she has done her time in. So
Yeah,
it's JS-alternators.com, and I'll put it in the chat. So if anybody wants to go see if they make an alternator for their vehicle, and perhaps if they don't, you could maybe email them and they might be able to help you out in one way or another.
People that when we used to go live a lot, that's what they're all like. Do you offer everyone for this, that?
Yeah. I'm sure there's so many.
just over and over again.
Yeah.
Now
What
I
do you do?
see this whole thing about Log coming to Florida finals, guys. I
He's
cannot
coming.
miss work, and also I cannot miss money. Right now it's a little tight since I plan on going to Wake the Dead and all that. I might have to recone subs again soon. So
Boo.
if somebody wants to buy a flight, I'm not going to turn it down. But
Fly you out on Friday evening, fly you back on Sunday evening.
yep, it would work.
Done.
Hey, Jacob Morris, how's it going? Amped up to the max this side.
Hey, what's up, Living Loud with Andy?
Andy.
His
Hey,
show's tonight too, right?
It takes power to make power, and JS Alts does make the power.
And they have the customer service to back it too. I can't say that enough. Like even Log was talking about earlier, he's got a different brand alternator, and what went up in it, the
regulator. The internal regulator on my Autotech Alt went out, and this was about a year after I owned it. But I mean, I pushed that thing to 15.8 with diodes and stuff. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it's Autotech's fault or anything, but JS Alternators was really amazing. Fast shipping on the new voltage regulator. Swapped it out, and it's been going really awesome since. I do have a potentiometer on it right now to bump it up to 15.5, but everything seems to be working fine. I'm definitely taking the power.
Good.
And yes, Jacob Morris, I am going to Wake the Dead. Mike is not, though, unfortunately. But Custom Audio by JD, I'm pretty sure he's going to Wake the Dead.
is
I
he
got a
going to
pretty
Wake
good drive, even though I'm in the same state. I'm going to be there. We're going to be set up with a booth.
There you go.
Of course.
Log and myself will definitely be at Ruckus. I'm sure Kristen and JS are going to be there.
That's
Yes,
one.
we will.
If I got to call into work, I'm going to Ruckus.
Yeah, if I have to walk.
Now the truth comes out.
I won't be staying for day 2 though, because I will be driving back to Illinois that day, and it's like a dang 13-15 hour drive or something, depending on what I want to take.
Yeah, it's a haul. We travel to these shows, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody's going to be at the TCP show. Are you going, Kristen?
We've talked about it. We have it on the schedule. I don't think we've officially booked it yet, though.
Okay.
That's in North Carolina, right?
Yep.
So that makes sense for you to go to that, not Florida. That's
Ruckus is in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So just look up Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm not sure. I know it's at a racetrack, right?
Yeah, it's at I think it's the Fayetteville Motor Speedway.
Can't have gold without Log.
In Vietnam. I would love to go to TCP show. I'm really hoping that next year, I know this is asking a lot, and I'm not really asking, I'm just hoping that somebody will be like, hey, maybe we should change the dates to one or the other show, and that way I can make both. Because I love some North Carolina shows. Like if I could just stay going to North Carolina only, and not the same venue, of course, but I just love North Carolina.
It's very pretty. Where is JS Alternators located out of?
Damn, Soulgasm.
We're in Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So we're not far from North Carolina at all.
Cool.
About an hour.
Sacramento to Fayetteville. That's a haul, buddy.
He's used to it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
He stays driving.
Hold on, guys.
That's a haul, though.
Oh my goodness! Look at that.
That's good, kitty.
I think if anybody hasn't been to Ruckus, and I think anybody that has been can agree with this. Like That is absolutely the show you don't want to miss. It grows every freaking year, and it's an awesome venue. It's out of the way. No one's complaining. They have anything you need there, and the temperatures are cool. Like it's like the perfect weather for a car audio show.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Just the whole vibe of the show.
Yeah,
Really nice too. And y'all know Team Ruckus. They just go hard.
they do. That show is like probably one of the most organized and well thought and put together shows. And also they do they take donations in of audio equipment, and they have a raffle, and 100% of the proceeds from that raffle go to a charity. And they pick like I'm not gonna lie, like when they did the two that I've been to so far, like I was tearing up because the charities that they chose, they were like amazing charities.
And not only that, just the amount of stuff that they give away is insane with that raffle. Like it's huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You'll be standing there for a while for this raffle.
Yeah. It goes on and on and on and on and on, man. It's awesome.
One of these years I'll make it.
A gold cat? Yeah, I do need a gold cat.
He could paint his catalytic converter gold.
There we go. I got an extra cat laying around.
I am going to make it out there probably next year. This is another one of the dilemmas of shows is Surf City. Surf City. It's the same weekend as Sundown Show. Can somebody do something about that? Because I'm on Team Sundown. I really don't ever. Sundown Show is another good one. It's the entire weekend is awesome when we go down there. So,
it is.
But I do want to go out to Surf City. I guess that's like a killer shows. Like I guess that's one of the best ones that you could go to.
That'd be cool, Jacob.
Now I know DeClue's not in here because I got a block, but
I don't know. He's right there, dude.
Grove neighborhood. Hey, Heather. Yeah, Surf City's it.
Just got to pilot us out there, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Man, you can just sit here and just read crap all day. They just keep typing so fast.
Wait a minute.
Oh, it was
Is this true?
I keep reading it too.
Is this true right here? It's a different date next year?
This year it was a fluke. Wow.
No way.
Yeah, I know you used to live out in Oregon, I think, and you said a lot of good stuff about Surf City in the past. I know you've had the TikToks of Surf City.
There you go, Mike. Dreams come true.
Best of the year.
That's probably because you don't have to travel very far.
Talk about shows, though. One show that I'm kind of upset with at the moment, and not necessarily because they're moving, but why haven't they said anything about where they're moving to yet? It is.
I know we're getting really close to it.
It's September, like people got to know what is happening to Slam.
Tag them. All the plane tickets. Awesome.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Byron.
Yeah, thanks.
I appreciate you, dude. He said it's facts. It's facts.
Yeah, look at this. That couldn't have been more perfect. Appreciate it, bro.
They're on different platforms even, which is hilarious.
Oh, man.
That's great. Oklahoma would be sweet. Honestly, anywhere where it's somewhat close to me again would be cool because it was 2.5 hours in Indianapolis. So
they're trying. Yeah, they are trying.
I don't know. Oklahoma has quite a few events. I still like maybe close up there, maybe by the Missouri border would be cool.
I'm pretty sure they're still doing it in Indiana. Denise, that's what Denise that helps put on the show told me. I texted her about it. She said that they're still doing it in Indiana. They're just looking at a different venue.
Okay. Hopefully.
There was a lot of speculation. I know that.
Yeah, I have to
Does
text.
anybody know the demeaning factor to it? Are they outgrowing that venue, or is there controversy?
That's what she had said. Yeah, that they're just outgrowing it. They were just going to find a bigger venue. That it would still be in Indiana. Now, this was a couple months ago whenever the talk first started, so when I asked her, so they might have changed.
Okay.
Yeah, I do know I talked to, not to get off on this too much, but I did talk to, when we were there, I was a vendor this year, and I talked to a couple of the track workers, and they had said the track and the parking was changing drastically, and he thinks they thought that maybe is what forced Slamology out. That could be why they outgrew it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was that lady behind the campground. I knew it.
It probably was. We're gonna have to organize a drive-by.
10-hour drive through the mountains for you to
A drive-by with audio, not
Yeah.
Not-
You're all over the place, Byron.
not a Chicago drive-by.
What's up, Brett? How's
Blow
it
up the power supply when you go by. It'll sound like a 22.
There you go.
Hey, I'm gonna build that defensive stunt wall with the boys. We're gonna show them what's up.
That's a good idea. I'm not gonna lie. Well, Kristen, do you have anything else you'd like to inform the audience about JS
Any
Alts?
upcoming sales or anything?
Yeah, so if you're just now joining, I do have some billet alternators behind me. They're JS Alternators. They're new, our new billet design. You can't find them on that website yet, but keep a lookout for them as we will be launching them within the next week or two. Like I said, I'm just waiting to stock the rest of the parts that I need, so that way we have enough to sell. Hey, Isaac, I'm good. How are you?
And Mike, you do have a
Who
picture of one of those billet alts in the group chat for this live tonight.
Mhm.
That's actually true.
If you can't get it up, it's fine. I mean,
Whoa.
but the picture is way better. You can see it better versus that.
Oh, Mike can get it up.
Keep my thumbs to myself.
Got the Blue Chew. Use code LOG at Blue Chew.
Well,
Oh, shit.
That's hilarious.
All right. Well, I got one question for JS on this then. You know, I have a lot of customers come to me and they're like, man, this company doesn't make an alt. I went to their website. I didn't see it. I said, did you try to reach out to them? So the point I'm getting to is if I had a customer that came to me who was looking for an alt, like one of them was the other day, it was like a GM36 and a Pontiac G8. He said he went to a couple different pages. He couldn't find it listed on the website. What is y'all's turnaround time for a special inquiry to see if y'all make it or not?
So it depends on what it is. A lot of those can get pretty. We've kind of like started to move away from that, mainly because in the past we used to be more like we got to make every sale that we possibly can, and based on the previous year's history, it half the time it doesn't do any benefit or profit for us. There's a big overhead investment to get it done for them, and then sometimes it's testing it, trying to figure out if we can make it happen or not. And then we make it happen, and then it needs to take somebody like Isaac, for example, who's in the chat, somebody that knows that this may take some modification to make it work because it's aftermarket.
Well, that wasn't so much my question. Is like if somebody reaches out to you because it's not listed on the site, what is y'all's turnaround time to respond? If y'all
Gotcha. Sorry, I misunderstood that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we have two people that are dedicated full time to customer service here.
Okay.
They handle all of the phone calls, live chats, and emails, and then all the social media stuff. So it can get on a Monday. If we're catching up from over the weekend, we'll have 200, 250 tickets to catch up on from over the weekend. So it's usually right then and there or within the next day. Now, if they're having it's in-depth troubleshooting type stuff, that's going to be Ryan. Honestly, in the back, he has to try to troubleshoot with a lot of people. I have to take time to do that as well. So it's hard to train people on how to troubleshoot. So it takes a little bit of time. Our two people, they've been here with us long enough to be able to help, but it'll be almost immediate, within a couple hours, a day max. But some of it can be situational.
Well, that's still pretty good turnaround time compared to how many people are out there, especially if you're literally getting 200 plus tickets over a weekend's time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We have 150 right now. I'm looking at it. 150 open tickets. And it's pretty steady. They're on the phones back to back all day long. So yeah.
How put all orders means they need custom boxes. Let's go.
Yes. But keep a lookout on the billet alternators, guys. They'll be coming out in about a week or two, and then we'll be. I wasn't sure if I'm going to say this or not, but I might as well. We'll be launching dual and triple alternator bracket kits as
Yes.
well. So those are the works. We're on the works with a lot of stuff.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for unveiling these alternators here, and I know they've kind of been here and there so far, but nothing really out there on Facebook yet that I've seen, at least. So
Yep.
Really appreciate you coming on and talking to us about it.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure to meet you, Log. Mike, it's always good to see you.
Yeah, always good to see you too.
And then Josh, it was a pleasure to meet you as well.
Likewise, I look forward to doing some business with you guys. I like that you're family oriented, so I'm definitely going to keep that in mind and try and help y'all grow.
Reach out to us sometime this week, and then we can get to know each other and see what we can do for each other.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
How do I exit out of this, guys?
I'll just boot you.
Just kick her out of here.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Kristen. Boom, she's booted. No, she's good people. Everybody at JS is awesome.
That's awesome.
And I've heard good stuff. Like I said, I've not had enough vehicles that I had to stay very dynamic on brands. And honestly, I mean, alternators have gone up substantially over the last couple of years. So, but I've heard a lot of good. I just haven't ventured down that road. And for me, man, when it comes to business, I'd rather do business with somebody that's willing to take the time to talk.
Oh, 100%.
Personable. If somebody told me I can build you a 320 amp alt for $150, if they're the biggest piece of crap in the world, I'd still spend the $600-700 to somebody that gave a crap.
Oh yeah.
In the long term, like my famous saying is, cry once, because you're going to spend, even if you bought an eBay alt for $200, you're probably going to buy 3 of them in the same year. So you might as well just bite the bullet one time, spend the money. You have the customer service.
That's huge for me.
And JS is
my number one factor.
Yep.
All right, now to move on to our next section of tonight's Disturbing the Peace. You guys don't just take orders and not ship? What are you talking about? Yeah. That's the way to really make money. But,
yeah, isn't that how you make money for like 30 days?
Yeah. But so we got Josh, the main guy behind Custom Audio by JD. I don't know if you guys have seen his posts independently or anything that I've shared from him, but the guy makes absolutely clean work, loud, solid work. It looks good, sounds good. Anything that I've seen from him or heard from other people who have bought his enclosures have had nothing bad to say. Honestly, JD for president, JD 2024.
Look at these things.
Here's just some of his stuff. So you see that little notch there in the middle too. That's to make sure that fits in your vehicle. Other places, I've seen the MB enclosures.
Pretty rough.
Just kind of be off, and the box end up sticking a couple inches past the seat.
Oh, stupid.
And that's no good. Well, whenever you go to JD, not only do you have financing options with JD, you have something that's really clean and gonna fit in your vehicle. Base with Kev, this is one really awesome build.
I love that. I've seen this in person. It's awesome.
Same. And without me going too deep into it, it's probably best to hear it from the man himself. So Josh, go ahead and can you first, before we talk about the history and stuff, tell us about your company and what you do.
Well, I mean, our company, we specialize in custom enclosures. I mean, from big builds to little builds. I try and prioritize the little builds, the little guys. We don't discriminate on brands over here. You know, if you come at me with a set of Planet Audio subs or Boss or Kicker or whatever, man, we try and best suit everybody's needs within their budget. I don't try and push brands on anybody for any means. Even though I'm a dealer for some brands, that doesn't mean everything to everybody. You know, some people only have what they have to work with, and I can respect that.
And
You
you
know,
can make it
I give people the opportunity to experience what they have and show them what they can do as they grow along the way. Because I mean, everything is a timed transition within a given budget. So everybody when they start out in a build, you know, they always try and grow over the years. It takes people time, and that's what we try and do. And I've been building relationships with almost everybody I've been with, and honestly, I mean, as much social media as I push, my biggest business is still word of mouth from
Yeah, it will be.
You know, I made a joke the other day. It was quite comical. I said I ought to build my enclosures a little crappier so they don't last as long because I can get some more business.
Now, do you ship?
Yeah, I ship right now just to the United States. I haven't tried to push anything continental yet, but yeah, I ship to all 50 states.
Nice.
Yeah, it's probably a nightmare to send stuff like that outside of the country.
And that's so amazing too. Even just shipping to 50 states, like because not only do you offer financing, but shipping on top of that, and then you're a dealer. So I mean, you could literally get the whole sub package, you know, shipped to your house, obviously in separate containers. But that's just really awesome. So your super clean work is available for so many people, and this is your most recent big build, your personal build here.
Yeah, that's so right now what I've got is 2 level 6 DC-18s on a single Teramps Smart 5K until I can get my alt in and get my C-Max built and everything so I can transition to my 2 6Ks.
Man, and just to see what kind of damage you're doing already, I'm afraid you're going to break your door before
Dude,
you get bed.
So I had a customer come by and I was talking to him and I started playing a different song than I was used to. And I could hear the carnage in the door. I said, man, I need to go get my phone and record this crap. I was almost in disbelief. It doesn't, I mean, videos don't do it justice by any means, but I felt sorry for that damn door.
And could you tell me a little bit about those A-pillars you got there? Do you do custom A-pillars for people, or is this just a one-off for yourself there?
You know, I mean, I can do just about anything I really want to put my mind to. I just never really pushed custom fiberglass work just because I stay so busy with the enclosure builds, and
it's so time consuming.
It is, and I love it. I would love to transition more into it so we can continue to, you know, pursue the passion of new things that I don't do on a daily basis. Because, man, I'll take it back years ago where I said, man, I don't know if I trust doing under seat boxes or wedge enclosures or anything with a weird angle. And lo and behold, a couple years forward, they became my number one seller. And I'm like, man, I just want to do a normal rectangular ported box.
Is that in a cube?
Yeah.
That is a Nissan Cube.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. Okay, Jessica's asking, do you only design and build, or do you do designs for people?
I don't do any kind of CAD, 2D, 3D software programs right now, so I don't really offer to the general public because it is a kind of a special trade, and for some people that are
what's up, John?
knowledgeable with measurements and cutting stuff, you know, it's a different story. So the people that don't know, that need to see all those side by side views in a 2D and 3D and exact pulled measurements on everything.
Yep,
it can be.
I feel you there, man, because that's kind of, I don't do any of the special softwares. I just kind of like plug it all into a calculator and draw it all out by hand. Or not at all, and I just kind of got it in my head, you know, until it's done.
Yep.
Well, see, for me, man, I don't know. I can, whether a customer comes to me or I see what they're working with and what equipment they've got, I can already, within a minute or two, I can already envision how I want it to be laid out in my head. And it's almost to the point where it's hard for me to explain it to somebody. I have to be able to dumb it back down a little bit. It's not for them. It's for me. Like, I try to geek out a little too much because this is the only thing math related I've ever cared about in life until I got here. But
I love it. So yeah,
I tell everybody trust the process, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to
trust the process. And what's really cool about you, which is different about me, is in the middle of your processes, it already looks beautiful. My shit just looks terrible in the middle of it. It might even look terrible at the end, but you know, I feel like
we're our own worst critics.
Loud. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
I refuse to do something I can't physically measure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I know a lot of people have run into that with not only design work, but selling enclosures to people. And it's like, and I know for a fact you can ask people, make sure you're measuring, like, okay, make sure your tape measure is, here and here. Make sure it's not crap. Make sure, measure it 3 times, whatever, 100 times. And then I swear, like, it's probably still going to be screwed up because
take a picture of where you're measuring too. Like,
Yeah.
let's see if
it's still screwed up.
That's what I was fixing to say. For a lot of the customers that reach out to me, especially
What's up, John?
Especially trunk builds, guys.
Oh, dude, it's hard to, like,
I tell them to, whenever they send measurements, don't just send me length, width, height. Send documented pictures with that tape measure in the focus of that photograph.
Yeah.
And I also try and relay as far as trunk openings and certain depths here and there.
Yep.
And then I always try and keep at least some of those measurements and try and shrink them down a little bit just for safety measures, especially if it's not going to be local. That's the easiest way to do it. Mm-hmm. If it don't fit, especially being that far, it's kind of on them. But, I mean, if you've been in the game long enough, you have a general idea if it's going to go or not. Yep. Very rarely have I had something not fit.
We got John Hart, Mr. Audio Ace in here, which you're an Audio Ace dealer, right?
Correct.
All right, so Josh is an Audio Ace dealer, and you got it from the Mr. Audio Ace himself that he does amazing work. So
if you go back to that Ram TRX underseat enclosure, I think you had a picture of.
Yes,
I had the honor of actually building that for one of his customers up there that had a TRX, and they loaded it full of Audio Ace straight 8.
A TRX? Nice. That's so cool too, because those trucks are badass.
I wish he'd post up a picture. So he did a beautiful finish on there. Even put red in the eyes of the damn Raptor and everything. It was phenomenal.
Oh, shoot.
What he did with it.
Do you remember who it was? Maybe I can look it up.
John Hart did the install and everything up there through his business. I don't know who it ended up. I don't know the customer that ended up with the build per se.
Some V2s do look insane.
Yep. And if you guys didn't know, which some of you probably do, I got my single sub testing coming up real soon, and I will have some Audio Ace to test in that series. So
and that's going to be really cool too, because Audio Ace, the sub that he sent, isn't really meant for high numbers, like SPL type extreme setting, and it did really amazing. Just to think, I'm wondering what it's going to do in the Ghetto Cruiser, the old Malibu.
Yeah.
See what kind of numbers at 28 hertz, and then if it survives that, we'll see what it do at 20. But
did y'all see the photos that he dropped today?
We gonna learn today.
I did not. Maybe check that out, Mike, while we're on here. So shout out to Mike. Thanks for the LF Audio HPVM. They really are amazing voltmeters. That's from me. But blog for the content, and a special shout out to JD for always replying to Messenger.
That's a fact.
And I could say that one thing that I really try and focus on the most is not the enclosures, just my service with my customers. And it's not even people that have spent money with me, but
that's where it counts.
In years to come, they'll come around eventually, and if they don't, that's okay too. But if I did the right thing with them, they'll send somebody along the way. So I mean, I'm not sweating missing a sale or anything like that, because to me, it's about future growth within relationships to better pursue a future of the business
and building the community too. What you're doing is you are allowing people to grow themselves by building that knowledge of what's going on.
And see, I actually did a podcast with Jeff Moreland, and we've talked. There you go. Yep.
That's nice.
So I actually have a guy that does that for me locally. I do not own a CNC machine. Everything
Yeah.
I do is hand cut with basic tools.
You don't own one yet.
Yeah.
Yet. I built with a
Um,
steel saw and a couple table saws and just a basic freaking Ryobi router, man.
Hey, Steven
Everything that you-
Rogers, it's funny that you mentioned NSA because they're sending a sub for the single sub testing as well. I know I put a video out yesterday, the day before, but I have, I think, 17 or 18 manufacturers on board already, and some of them are sending multiple models of their subwoofers in. Like, for instance, Sundown, I'll probably have every single one of their mega platforms. So that's like 5 or 6 subs. And then some. We may have some custom builds too, just for
It'll be a
giggles.
fun little series.
It's going to be awesome.
It really will be.
You should help me get one of my teams sent to you.
Ooh,
Might as
man.
well.
Well, let me rephrase that. Joe's teams. He bought them, but they're coming out, so it'll be easy to box, and I have boxes for them.
I think Brian might be able to help with that too, though.
Let's talk to Brian about that, and if it'll work, I'll send you one of them.
Because I'm trying to, if it's going to be, I don't want to get too far off on this, but I mean, it is our show, I guess. We do what we want. But I do want to, like, if it's something you can just purchase, I want it brand new out of the box. I don't want it broken in. I don't want a special coil or a spider pack or anything. It has to be a brand new sub right out of the box, just like Joe Blow would buy and get shipped to him.
Just to
So
see what people are going to walk into, because with Carlos's test, it's really amazing to see what these subs can do in an extreme application and
Yeah.
put up some crazy number. But the 98% of the audio community is going to buy a sub, and they're going to put it in something. If it's like Sundown or even the NSA or Audio Ace, somebody is going to have some low-tuned box, and they're going to try to play some lows.
Yep.
And nothing against Carlos at all. I love the guy, love what he's doing, but that box just can't do it. It's not made for that.
Yeah.
But Mike's car, however, has proven that it can do that at a pretty high pressure too. You know, doing almost a 154 with the SDDN and out of the trunk at it's 27 hertz that does
Yep.
that.
27, and that was completely stock sub.
Yeah, we don't know what it'll do right now. I mean, it's probably upwards of a 154.
I have a feeling it's at least a 54 right now. For somebody that owns a term lab, I don't know.
Stay
What you're
tuned for the
saying
next
is you
video.
don't have the time to go test your stuff, even though you own the equipment.
Yeah, I mean, it's like doing work at your own house when you are like in construction.
Just send it to me, Mike.
Listen. Yeah, because you'll probably use it.
I would too.
I've used it.
Yep. It's there.
That's the only way. I never got to get my car out at Slamology to go run the lanes, and so like I think the weekend after Slamology, I went and set up in a parking lot with the table and the computer and my 2 sensors and the clamp and everything, and just I ran my own lanes for like 20 minutes.
What's up, Mr. Tenafly?
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
What's up, Andres?
By the way, JD, I don't know you personally, but it's nice to meet you. I'm Mike.
Likewise, brother.
Nice
Mike.
work, by the way. I've actually followed your stuff, and that box was pretty badass.
Man, I
Cool.
appreciate it.
No, it was nice, man. I can always appreciate some nice work.
Yeah, it's nice. We've been in talks, but my Silverado is not a crew cab, and they call it a double cab. So
Yeah.
it's basically a extended cab. And the floor is goofy as hell in that truck, man. Like the crew cab, there's like almost no humps in the crew cab. You can just slap almost any enclosure back there, and it's good to go. This one, it's so screwed up. So
What year is it?
17.
Yeah, so my good friend Tyler has one like that. I know what you're talking about. It's got the hump in the center, and it's got a big lip right underneath the rear of the seat.
It's got like it's like 2/3 of under the seat is like mountains. It's so weird.
I
So I've
threw a
had
little
hand
Easter egg
laces
box in there for you on that one.
What's that?
I said I threw a little Easter egg box, and all those pictures I sent you was actually one for a double cab, but I only had 2 hours to build it, so
Are you
Oh,
shitting
no.
me?
I didn't
Did
have
I
a way to
build
recreate
that?
the floor again. You'll see it when you see it. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Damn.
2 subs on the side. It was 2 Sundown SA8s with a 4-inch arrow.
See, and this is what's awesome about
that was that year range.
Yep.
What the hell?
I did that just to make you mad.
Yeah, I must have skipped right over it. I mean, you did send me a lot of pictures, just to be fair, but now
That
You
is
just
cool.
sent photos. You didn't say how many.
that's true.
I loved it too. You sent me just
What's up, Brian?
bombed me
Hi,
with
Brian.
amazing pictures that I was able to spread out throughout like weeks. You know.
Well, I just appreciate the opportunity to talk to good people, man. Like, cause my idea is I just want to spread love and positivity, man, and connect with good people in this community, in this industry, because there's so much crap out there. Like,
Yeah.
so I've been really trying to push the social media platform with people that promote and want to do good things, because that's where I want us all to grow together.
You're in
Yeah.
the right
I
spot,
preach
man.
that every day of the week, man. That's where I want to be. It has nothing to do with me and my business. It has everything to do with us as a whole. So we can get together at these shows, show up, have a good time, know that we have respect for one another, and we have nothing to worry about.
Is that
That's
the
not
one?
it. That's not it.
I didn't
Keep
think
going.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
you're
got
in the
about
right
200
spot,
more.
for that, man. We're trying
Just-
to change things up a little bit. I mean, we like to joke around too and everything, but to a point where we're not assholes.
yeah, just
like,
growing the community with other good people that they're not gonna envelop all of their Facebook feed with nonsense. They just focus on the important stuff, which is audio and building the hobby. And
yep.
Well, I mean, I invest a lot of time now, and I have for years, because I've been doing this. I've been doing this for about 8 years. The last 7 or so, it's just been on the side. Started out as a hobby, and then I just had enough of juggling full time and doing
Hey,
this.
thanks,
So I
man.
jumped in. But I want to continue to grow and doing this full time, just to really see if we can make an impact more than anything.
Hey,
Brian.
Mike Long would be a great guy to include in that giveaway.
Brian's trying to chime in. So that one with the big plexiglass face on it for the 212, that was his enclosure. That's what he's talking
Was it?
oh, nice.
You said it was 2.8s in an airport?
Yeah. Did you not find it yet? You'll see the weird transitions on there. Maybe. You should be able to see it. So now I've piqued his interest.
I'm looking now. I don't know if you maybe didn't send me the front of it. Oh, no, that was 4. Never mind. Yeah, I don't see it.
Hey,
wait a minute. We're still
can I
going.
ask Brian?
Oh.
Brian in here. I sold him an amplifier. What was wrong with that, Brian? Do you did you actually find out what was wrong with it? He sent me a message, and apparently 2 channels weren't working. So I'm kind of curious.
Hey, Pops. Works perfect.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, he's got some killer enclosures in here.
I'll tell you what, I actually know Brian's box. If you built that for him, that thing's pretty wild looking, dude.
Yeah, man, I did. He's actually local to me.
He put a video up earlier of it making the fucking windshield move, so the thing's loud.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, because I still haven't heard it in person. Go ahead.
Oh, here it is. You know what? I looked at this and I thought, man, that's a lot of shit.
What's up, Seth Webner?
Yep.
That's it.
But you can't see it on the rear, but there's a lot of angles on the rear of that thing. I'll have to send it to you.
What the hell? Yeah, okay. But you didn't have to pour the floor for it?
The dude drove up and I had like an hour and a half to come up with some type of a layout that would fit. He did do a seat lift.
Jeez. Okay, well, you're going to have to, I feel like, no matter what.
He drove up like an hour and a half away. I had just about an hour and a half to come up with some type of a layout. I threw it together real quick to at least make sure that it would fit the contour of the seat and lay out to the floor. And I finished it up. So,
but you don't have a duplicate of it.
No, I don't. But I did do the install afterwards, and I was very, very freaking impressed for 2 sundown 8s.
You need to have them come over and pull it out and take your measurements.
See if I can sweet talk him.
For real, we got to get Mike some.
I need this.
New Z8s going.
What eights did he put in there?
He put the sundown SA 8s.
Oh, the SAs. Okay, yeah.
So Z's should work.
I mean, I had 4 SAV 3.8s in my truck build. Remember, Log? I showed up to Ruckus with it.
Dude, that thing was ridiculous, man.
It was
And you
nuts.
surprised.
What's up, Eric?
I was so upset too because you didn't tell me, and so we ended up like intermingling in Ohio somewhere randomly on accident, and he pulls up, and I was under the assumption he didn't have anything in that vehicle,
What's up, Ray?
and then I hear bass,
Banging.
this smooth 26 hertz coming out of the trunk. What is this guy doing? This guy.
Man, I've had fun with all kinds of sundowns. I remember my buddy, I didn't build it, but he had like 11 sundown E8s with a bunch of aeroports and a Ford Taurus wagon. And that son of a gun was freaking whamming, dude. It was the most impressive 8-inch build I've heard for a no wall.
That's wild.
At least
One of
locally.
these.
I don't make a whole lot of national
yeah.
events. Yeah,
I have one right here.
That's pretty neat.
E8 V6. This thing's a little monster. It's not doing anything.
Don't underestimate that freaking basic setup of basket and everything else because it's got some throw and it'll get low.
Oh, it jams, and it takes power too. Trust me.
What's up, Carrie? Loud Grandpa.
Hey, what's up, Loud Grandpa? Blaine's
I
back.
didn't get to get a demo in Loud Grandpa's build.
I did.
Anytime I pulled up over there at the Sundown show, he wasn't around.
He walked up to the Suburban and stuff while it was playing, and the dash was moving so much the bass knob decided to turn itself all the way up while he was standing there.
Oops.
I got a good demo just before we had to go silent for the hour or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And man, I love that van, man. It's nice.
He's a nice guy, by the way. You just walk up to somebody and never talk to him and stuff. You know, you're kind of get nervous that the people you meet aren't going to be like receptive to you.
Yeah.
But he walked up, shook my hand. He's like, "Hey, how the hell fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, how the fuck are you?"
Yeah, he's awesome, man. Good guy. He's another guy that builds custom enclosures and stuff, and he's just got everything. It seems like he's always got something for sale, like brand new stuff, like enclosures, all kinds of stuff. And
15
he's
here
just
and
one of
there.
those guys that's just in it. Like,
Doesn't he have 4 SDDN 18s?
yeah,
Putting the U18s back in, huh? What are you trying to do?
kill us. I'm not getting in there.
Yeah, that's gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah, you're not getting me in there, especially with 8 of them.
Mike Bridge, can you identify as Kristen for a second? Floyd Vester said, Kristen.
Yep, you're about 30 minutes late.
Yep.
She was on here. No. Nope. I'll watch from the outside.
I mean, you know what? I'll jump in there. I'll take one for the team, I guess. As long as you turn it up. None of those quiet demos.
Hey. Man, look at all that good sundown goodness.
Those SAE V4s, I like those.
You did what?
Wow. 8 carbon fiber SPDNs.
Holy
Man, guys with their
So did I.
Hey.
Carrie, that's literally what I just ordered.
I think Carrie might have ordered 18s. I'm not sure if he did 18s or 15s. You did 15s, right?
I'm not trying to rebuild the entire truck.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, he's going to be 18s.
I get it. I can't wait for your build though, Mike. I'm super excited. Just from what I've seen with the 418s and felt, it was
a monster
demo, man.
Thank you. I'll tell you, I really want, after seeing Carrie's build, I'm kind of pissed off I didn't get a demo from it, because that would have gave me something to like, oh, okay, well, this is what I got coming. Because I'd imagine that's an extreme build, right?
Yeah.
So I bet you that thing hurts, even with just 4 of them.
I got a Lowe's demo, and it was nasty, but that van is just so fucking built like perfect.
See, that's what I want, because like mine seems pretty decent, but the extreme builds hold everything in. A lot of my shit bleeds off, and it's still decent. But like, imagine if that wasn't getting leaked out of the truck.
162s at 22.
That's getting.
Are you going to or do you have anything on your firewall, Mike?
I've got a 12 by 14 inch hole, if that counts. I
Venting.
had deadener on there. I had Vibraflex, like 3 layers of Vibraflex on the firewall. And at Ruckus, when the windshield blew out, it just destroyed it. It like peeled it off in little pieces. So I don't know what happened, but the Vibraflex just like kind of like splintered and broke off, and then it's there. But the firewall in them trucks is actually like pretty decent. It's the floor that in the doors that are just like they're like saran wrap. They don't hold up for anything. That's why I want something like what Carrie's got. Like I need to build something like that so I'm not destroying the truck. But at the same point, I kind of like it. It's fun driving the thing everywhere. But damn, 62 to 22 is freaking getting it for just 418s.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, can you go ahead and open up a browser here and go to customaudiobyjd.com?
Nothing but a broken website, but we're working on it.
There's stuff there though. I mean, we can view some of your stuff, and your information is there whenever you go to
that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you talked about fiberglass work. So that old picture, the first picture on the top, before the DC picture.
Oh, you'd have to scroll left there. There you go.
So that was my old Avail. You could see where I actually sealed the entire hatch off, and that's where I had my lithium in my JP83. That was all fiberglass work done and molded to all the panels back there. So
that's super cool.
I'll have to find some better pictures and maybe send it to you, man. That was a fun build.
That's clean, man.
I know that SoundCube build is one that I've shared on my profile before. Now there is the information on there. If you do go to that website and you just go to click the 3 lines and go to About Us, you'll be able to find his information there. Has a phone number, and you can go ahead and contact him and see what he could do, because JD does do amazing work. Offers financing and shipping to the United States. So you guys don't want to sleep on this. Plenty of people who are well known, like Base with Kev. I know y'all probably, if you're watching us, you've seen Base with Kev.
Yep.
He's rocking a custom audio by JD enclosure, and it is super clean. It does acrylic in the boxes if you want. Just really super clean work, and it's all loud too. It has a cube that should be at Wake the Dead. This Nissan Cube is absolutely nuts with 2 DC level 618s. It's nasty.
It's a very slim possibility that I'll be coming. I want to real bad, but I already have plans. But you never know. Stuff falls through.
It's going to be a really amazing show. I know that. I know Duncan's going to be there as well. Other people who are loud. Maybe Memphis with Frost. That would be really cool if we could talk him into getting Frost out there.
Yeah. I mean, I know y'all make a lot of shows, and there's a lot of good things out there, but honestly, this one for Wake the Dead has grown substantially. I know for a fact over the last couple of years, and it's going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come as a top contender for a lot of events in the United States.
Yeah, for one of the best shows out, because I seen last year it was just really big, and it's taking that trend of growing more and more and more every year, and I feel like being such a centralized show also helps so much.
Oh, dude, I'm
telling you, like Wake the Dead on October 19th.
Yes, sir.
It's just so well rounded. It's so versatile, man, and we get so many dynamic people to come out from all over the U.S. Like it's just good stuff, man. And like you said, it is a good location for a lot of people. It just kind of gives everybody an equal length to have to travel. It doesn't really make or break, put it on the far East Coast or the West Coast, which it still makes it hard for a lot of people to make it. But I know for a lot of us base heads in the Midwest and so on and so forth, that's a pretty good avenue for us to go.
Oh yeah,
I know that Memphis Log, myself, and Mike have a chat, and Memphis and I talked about trying to fly there if we can't bring the vehicles.
At least to be there, yeah.
Man, nice. I wouldn't miss it, even if you didn't bring a rig. Man, come enjoy yourself, drink a beer with me, and let's get some demos together.
Shit, man, I'm down for that. I'd like to meet you, man. I'd like to meet some of the guys up there. I know John's been up my ass for like the last 2 weeks, and then Jonathan Cortez has been like Did you know about the show on October 19th? Like, I get messages about it, like, anytime fucking pops up, it makes me laugh. But they're nice guys, and you guys had some badass stuff. My coolest thing that I noticed was that's probably the only show that I've seen where they actually have, like, a category for the, like, old 90s builds.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part about it. Because don't get me wrong, it's cool to see the uniqueness of, like, new equipment and all the hot rods and stuff out there. But, like, a badass old, like, Pile Blue Wave 90s build.
Log. Byron just now came back.
I'm paying for the flights. Come on,
Like
come
45
on,
minutes
Byron.
ago. At least he caught it. At least he caught it. Because you were paying for the flights. If we would have ended this,
Yeah, he was paying for them flights.
and you'd be on the hook for flights. At least it was only like 3, though, huh?
Yeah, that's not too bad.
That's funny. Yeah, you can look up Josh Custom Audio by JD either on Facebook or the customaudiobyjd.com. Check
I've
out
done
his stuff.
Instagram, TikTok, Snap, you name it, man. I'm all over the place. But
Send him an inquiry.
Hey, Josh, out of curiosity, do you ship enclosures?
oh yeah, that's my main avenue is shipping. I don't.
Well, let me ask you something. I know you probably haven't seen a lot of it, but even if maybe we buy something off you want to be a part of our giveaway?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't expect anything free or anything. We could talk about it after this and stuff. I'll put you in there. I mean, if nothing else, I could throw you on the website and in the ad and stuff, as maybe a part of it. Because
Reach out to me. I
I
would
build
love
for
to.
a living, and I can respect when somebody does work that either is above mine or, what I consider really nice. You do some nice ass enclosures, man.
Super.
Yeah.
Clean.
Dude, I'm all for growth for all of us. I mean, I'll do what I can to help and give back for sure.
That'd be
Awesome, man.
And for the next one, if I can join in on the reindeer game some more, if we can get a heads up, I'll do some posting. I got a lot of people that really chimed in when I did them before with the other podcasts I was doing. So, I mean, I'd really like to see a lot of those people come over and actually see what you guys do.
Yeah.
Not so much for myself, but if I can bring a lot of people that enjoyed content that we did before, I know they'll definitely like to do this. And then the single sub testing, along with whatever else you guys want to throw into the mix, I think it'll be fun.
That'll be really cool.
Heck yeah, man. It's funny that you say that. We really didn't post much about this, if we did post anything at all. And it's mainly because me and Log have been running this show, and we're both extremely busy, and I have the memory of a rock. So that doesn't help. But it's going to get better, and this is how it's going to get better is we're actually taking this podcast, this live stream, and the Team It Hurts live stream, which is usually on Thursdays, and we're merging them.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're going to have Memphis, Houston, Mike Bridge, Log, and myself, and it's going to be a new name. It's going to be a different day and time.
Yeah, so what I think you and I and Log and Memphis talked about would be your single sub testing stuff is still going to be kind of umbrellaed with it, but he's going to have his own night. Tuesday nights, he's going to do the normal time that they would do the DTP stuff with his, single sub testing. So we can try and keep that somewhat separate because let's be honest here, there's only so much that we could do to help Mike when he's, 15 plus hours away. But Thursday nights, we'll do the main lives with all of us. And I don't know, I think Log should be the one to tell everybody the name. It's pretty cool.
So, y'all know, I'm Loggy Log here, and we are with the new mids on the block. So instead of new kids on the block, we are the new mids on the block. Me, Memphis, Mike, and Mike, the Mike squared. And the whole idea behind this also is to get some new mids on the block for some people. We're going to try to give away at least one pair of mids every month that we do have this podcast together. And as the new mids on the block and mob, we are going to show everybody that they got to get their vocals sounding better, So
can I chime in for a second?
yeah.
Yep.
When y'all are ready to do that, you let me know. 6.5 or 8-inch. I'll throw a set of Audio Ace mids in there to give away.
Oh, badass, dude.
Dude, right there. That's amazing. Thank you, JD.
Hey, just a heads up in appreciation for that. I know we were going to talk about it later, but I talked with Ryan at JS and Kristen, which is the owner of JS that's taken over for Father Jonathan Smith. They decided that they want to support again. So the first month, the top donator for the first month across Mike's, single sub testing and our giveaway or our actual live stream is going to win the first publicly built JS billet alternator.
Phew.
Built for their vehicle, of course, within reason. If it can't be built for your vehicle, they can't do a billet case, and they're going to build you up to a 400 amp alternator for that vehicle.
That's awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
That's super cool.
on
There
top of
again.
everybody winning free stereos from our giveaways that we're doing as joint, now you got a chance to win some awesome stuff from people like Josh, and then Mike and Log, and then myself. And Memphis has talked to us about doing some other stuff, but I think maybe Thursday we'll talk about what he wants to chuck in there with some other stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Because we got some changes with Mike Log, Memphis, and myself that we need to finalize and get the page up and running and everything. We worked on some cover art, but so it's a big process to turn all that stuff together. Realistically,
It is.
nobody's doing what these guys are doing, and I say these guys because I'm just a little part, right? But everything we're doing is a learning curve, so just bear with us as we get things moving smooth, and I promise you it'll be the biggest thing around if you give us some time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The new
100%.
mids on the block are here to take over and show y'all that we're serious about just spreading positivity and building the community into something bigger. We love demo builds, but we love all builds. And so no matter what you like to do with car audio, whether it's spray paint random shit gold or make an extreme cabin and buzz out a 70 hertz burp to get your trophies.
We're here for it.
Yeah, we're here for it, and we're gonna try to showcase a lot of different things, just everything with audio. And then number one thing, bringing new mids on your block. So
Hey man, listen,
It'll be
audio
exciting.
is awesome, and Josh, I want to say thank you myself, man, for that because that's cool. I actually really like John's equipment, and I was watching him do the unboxing earlier of his new stuff he's got, like those diamonds and stuff. They're a pretty badass looking mid, man. It had a big ass magnet on it for a 6-step. I'm like, how the fuck are you supposed to fit that in the door?
Well,
Yeah.
you guys were talking about sound quality and the vocals, right? I put a set of his 6.5s in my doors, and actually, so it's let me backtrack for just a second before I get off subject. But we had a whole slew of 6.5s laying around the shop, and I've got a test bench there with a home amplifier, and I literally just a buddy come over and I said, "Man, let's see what everything sounds like we've got." We pulled one out of every single box. I've not been a big mids guy just because the vocals lack. I got to the Audio Ace lineup, and I was like, holy crap, there it is. There's the missing link of the vocals along with the mid bass. And it
Hell
took 3 months of having the shop open. I never sold a pair of anything Audio Ace mid bass 6x9s. As soon as I left that one on my tabletop for a tester, people would come in and get to hear it. They didn't care how much it cost no more. They
wow.
were sold. Like
His
it was
new
everything.
subwoofers, the Jokers that he showed earlier, the 12s with the carbon gust cap and cone, those things are freaking awesome. Like I'll tell you now, aesthetically, we're in a world of the subwoofers starting to look cooler and cooler and cooler, but it's nice to see something that's like, I mean, it's a little bit different, right? It's clean. It's white and black and chrome instead of being fucking 18 different colors or something, whatever it's going to be. But
Yeah.
he did a nice job on that lineup. The subwoofers look fantastic.
So I'm not to chime in on him or shine a light on his side of the thing. I mean, he's a great guy, but that new backbreaker that they just released a picture of today,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, I'm curious to see what kind of testing that they're going to unfold with that one.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it.
Unique quad coil, huge motor.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's a big bastard. I was looking at that one. I'm not going to lie, those would be neat to have, but the whole reason for me selling my teams is so I can move away from a 150-pound sub. I know Mike's about to be heavy. Mike, what's your sub weigh?
Too damn much.
Yeah, it is too much. It's 104.
I mean, 100 pounds I can deal with, though. Like, I'm thankful I'm moving to that platform. Because I'll tell you now, like, I sold the subs out of the truck, and Joe was here yesterday looking at them, and I'm like, I'm happy they're gone, But holy shit, I am not looking forward to getting back in there and lifting them things off the baffle.
Yeah.
Well, those level 6s got to be pretty beefy. How much do one of those weigh, Josh?
They're 100 plus, man. I don't know the exact weight on the level 6. I know level 5s are like 103, and level 6s got a little more ass on them.
Yeah.
I rolled my big old broad shoulders into that port to load them, and my wife's like, "Why don't you call your friend over?" I said, "There ain't no way 2 men are fitting in this port."
No.
Great.
2 men, 1 port. not a good idea.
One of them tried to flip and get away from me, man. I'm still bruised up, like almost a week later.
Man, I'm glad you got them in though, because I can't wait for the demos. Seeing that door go crazy like I did, man.
I have not done any cabin mods. I haven't adjusted a single lick on that front rear port. No, nothing. That's literally on a damn Tarrant Smart 5K holding 13.1 volts.
That's crazy. Just the amount of power that you're going to have on them too. You're going to throw like what 3 to 4 times the amount of power with those 2 6Ks.
Yeah, see, I wanted to do some low level testing, but I'm afraid that I need to get the more power in there before I start testing or making adjustments, so I see if my bandwidth grows with the added power.
True.
By the
I
way,
don't want to make changes now, and then it adversely affect me in the negative manner when it comes down to adding the power. So I don't want to lose.
it says the level 6 M518 is 117 pounds. That's a big bastard. I'll tell you, I messed with a level 515. It felt heavier than that.
It's all there, dude. It sucked.
They got big magnet. That's why I like DC though. Their magnets for that top and bottom plate on a level 6 is still rounded like they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
They're fucking huge. They look good. DC's done a nice job with their woofers, and I'll tell you to this day I still like DC, but nothing beats their old level 5 SPLs with the concave dust cap.
Yeah,
it looks so good back in the day.
Yeah, I didn't know what was in store for me because I had a set of M2 level 418s in there because they were my buddy's subs just for preliminary testing. And one of these level 6s is as heavy as 4 of those 18s put together. I can literally grab the basket because my port the way it is, I have to turn the sub sideways to get it into the port because I didn't make a removable wall. I can't go vertical. I have to go horizontal with it.
10s with the custom baskets, where you had to put the little metal ring around them that they used to sell, make them fit the baffle. And I'll never forget standing in the garage. I was working with Shocker Mike up in Ohio at the time, and he's like, "Bro, I bet you can't jump on that sub, bottom it out." I'm like, "Don't give me that challenge." I'm on dude. We jumped on it. You physically, the spider would max out in the coat, or the surround would stretch to the point where you couldn't get it to bottom out. I'm like, I need those back in my life. I need some stuff like that. But you can't give it to log because they'll just wrinkle them to death until they fall apart.
Stretch.
Here's the 4th tire to the vehicle.
Bring Mr. Memphis in the mix.
He looks froze up.
Yeah, he's inside. He needs to go outside.
He's gonna step outside. I'll put him back on when he's outside. So
he's in that big Reckless Audio Faraday box he's working.
Yeah, basically.
I do want to let you know my battery source is 10% on this laptop.
Bro, you gotta take some donations in to get log a new laptop.
No.
The first thing that we tried to do a donation towards.
Can you hear me?
Trying to get you drop-ins for log again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I need new drop-ins again, Memphis.
Who needs drop-ins?
Log.
I
got you.
I've been scraping my coil a little bit here and there.
I know a little bit about you, boy.
I mean, they still work. They're still doing the damn thing. But I don't know for how long. Who knows?
I still forget every time Memphis is up in Virginia. That's why it's so dark. Because down here, bro, it's still daylight out. I'm like, man, where the hell do you live?
Yeah, it's
dark
my
because I'm
daylight's
here.
pretty much gone.
Dark colors attract heat. Attract darkness. It's
Hey,
black on black crime right now.
You got a bunch of new guys in here. Do you want to tell them one more time what you're doing, Log and Mike?
Memphis, this really cool information. So we had unveiled about new mids on the block, and Josh over here with Custom Audio by JD had offered to donate a pair of 6s, 6.5s, or 8s of Audio Ace mids for one of the giveaways to spread mids on the block.
That's pretty fucking cool. That's
I
good
love
shit. My
watching.
signal is shit.
You got Verizon? Probably.
My
don't know what's
signal is shit.
I mean, you get about 3 or 4 words of good signal, and then your face freezes in the funniest
And
pose.
it's just my signal is shit every time.
Yeah. Better get some Wi-Fi out the shop.
My face isn't freezing. I'm having strokes.
Oh,
105 in Vegas still. Shoo!
That's
geez.
it.
You know what, Eric, by the way, just as a heads up, Larry's on our team and a great ass dude, but Joe right above it, another team member. But Eric Tomko, man, I'm going to tell you right now, you want to talk about somebody that follows audio. I can't put a post up. I can't see you guys put a post up. Memphis, Law,
Yeah.
Mike, that dude comments on everything. I'm going to tell you right
He's
now,
on
that
it.
dude needs a pat
He
on the
does.
back.
He's on it.
I have seen him. I have
He's
seen
good
him
dude.
a lot.
Eric,
I've
I'm going to
seen
tell
him.
you something, man. Keep your eyes open. All I'm going to say is keep your eyes open for some messages and stuff over the next few weeks.
So who are the members of the New Kids on the Block? I know Marky Mark was one of them.
Oh, are we talking about that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you missed it because your service is shit.
I can hear now. It's working. You bald-headed demon.
So yeah, we got the new mids on the block right here, right now,
Hey, thanks, Joe.
with Josh. Of course, Josh is awesome, and he has been gracious enough to donate a
Damn, Joe.
mid
Thank you.
for the new mids on the block live stream. We got to make sure we get them on there. Was telling the people about us wanting to give away at least one pair of mids a month to spread new mids upon people's blocks.
Dang, Joe's sending all the stars tonight.
Get people
I'll tell you
sounding
what.
good, Hey, Joe.
Brian.
Joe's the guy that bought my business partner John's Suburban and bought my subwoofer. So my teams are going in his truck.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
So Joe's about to get loud.
He's got
Well, I
rooftop
just
audio, amplifiers. He's gonna have all road.
If that's the case, a gigantic FU to Joe because I want that truck.
New mids on the block, sponsored by Amped Up Car Audio.
Yeah.
We also have
Who said that? Jacob, my love child, Jacob Morris.
Yep.
Monocle Morris.
And LF Audio.
The oldest, youngest looking person ever. Like he has a face of like a 13-year-old. Like
Oh, the mids. Oh, the mids. The mids are sponsored by Amped Up. Holy crap.
Oh, shoot.
That's pretty wild.
That's pretty damn awesome.
is that every month?
Yeah, is that every month?
We need to know. Is every month we're getting a pair of mids to give away?
Actually, I'll tell you what. Let me speak
Oh
on
shit!
for
There you
something.
go. Let's keep it going.
We have something that Jacob gave me that we could give away.
Love you
guys
too,
want.
Jacob.
Look at these.
This month
Brand-
at least to start. Well,
you can't back out now. It's every month for the next 24 months.
we got Josh with Custom Audio by JD sponsoring the first month here with the Audio Ace 6.5s or 8s, I believe you said, Josh.
Whatever way we want to go with it.
Whatever way. Honestly, we'll probably leave that up to the winner. Whatever works best for them there. I think that would be a good option there.
We'll get the winner. I get some information. I'll send it out the next day to him.
That's
Josh,
amazing, Josh. Thank
what
you.
I'll do on behalf of these guys, if they're okay with it, I have a big spreadsheet that I keep all of our giveaway stuff in.
Yeah.
I'll put you down as the first one, and then I'll put Jacob and Amped Up for the second one. Do me a favor, though, bro. If you guys get a minute when you're done, I have Jacob's information. We're going to go ahead and build. We've got a page that's getting ready to go live. We have some merch that we're going to do that we've talked about and some other things that we're doing. But send me your business logo.
Yeah.
And any information that you want to be out there and stuff. And any company that decides to work with us or help us out, we're going to do the website up and we'll put your guys' information on there so we can direct people right to you. Every month we'll do a feature of the business that's sponsored, and we'll go ahead and make it easy so you guys can get some showcase work in, and people can give you thanks, because it's a lot you know, we talk about this on both lives a lot, but you guys are killing it, man, helping us out with this, because I'm gonna tell you now, nobody can do this stuff free, and a lot of what you guys do is helping people that might not be able to do that get out there and actually have some fun.
Let's do this. We'll go one step further. I'll do the first month. Let Jacob handle the second month, and I'll do a set of audio dynamics on the third month.
I'll
Hey,
take it. Hey, well,
that's crazy.
we're gonna lock in. We're gonna go ahead and lock in month 4 and 5 then.
Oh, come on.
I'll donate from Sky High on month 4, and I'll donate from Dropping Hurts on month 5.
So,
Hell yeah. Memphis, Houston. We already got 5 months of mids. Getting on
Tell me right now that positivity don't make impact.
Yeah,
Serious.
it absolutely
Speaking of
does,
that,
man.
do we have subjects for tonight? Because there is something I want to talk about.
No,
we went by it, yeah.
we're loose right now. We're just loose cannons. So
Oh, we free balling. All right, cool. So I know Log and everybody in here probably saw the post that I did a little while ago, and I was talking about I shared it in a couple groups, and I was talking about the negativity as far as, you know, when somebody says, I'm just going to use this company for reference, but when somebody says, oh, I got these, you know, these new Scar subwoofers in, and automatically there's 9,000 comments of your Scar is shit, X, Y, and Z, it's going to catch on fire, blah, 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 blah. And so I made a post that was pretty much saying, you know, we don't need to downplay one company simply because we have a preference to another one.
For real.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I got a bunch of good stuff, you know, good responses. But then there was one guy today. He said, "Sounds like somebody who owns Scar in a 110 dB build," and I just laughed.
So
that's kind of funny though.
I don't mean to
Like,
jump
that's
in.
what-
I don't mean to jump in, but I use this pretty good for references, you know. So like when people start out with their first car as a teenager or even a young adult, they end up with what? A Dodge Neon, a Chevy Cavalier,
Toyota Corolla,
anything that you can afford.
Hey, a Ford Escort. That's what I had.
Okay,
Escort.
my point exactly. So Scar to me is a great brand, and I've had great success, and I do a lot of builds for people with them. But here's the problem. It's a lot like the Chevy Cavalier and the Dodge Neon that you first started driving before you learned how to respect what you had. You
Yeah.
treated it like shit.
Yep.
You blame the brand because it left you on the side of the road.
Yeah.
People start out with Scar because they don't know it's one of the biggest names that's talked about in the industry, right? You know,
Yeah.
literally
look, bro, for the money, it
all
gets
the
you.
time.
Right? It gets you to where you're going. Like a Honda
Yeah.
with a single cam
Yeah.
will get you down the street with some noise. But when that body rolls up with a blown small block, you kind of know you done made the better decision. I think
Scar is like Jason DeClue. You may not like it, but everybody talks about it.
There you guys, hell yeah, let's go with it. But you know what I'm saying? People need to get their feet wet. They don't know what they're doing. They blow the shit up. It gets a bad rep, and then it's a domino effect from there, man. So,
by the way,
my thing is my first audio build was a C-pillar wall in 2002. Well, I ain't my first audio build. My first audio build that I started coming to big shows with was a 2002 Tahoe with a wall with 4 Scar 18s in it, or 4 Scar 15s, and I liked it, but I didn't know much about audio at the time. And I mean, it did well for me. I did a 56 out of a C-pillar, so I was like, that's cool for what I knew. And so when people say something about it, I know well enough of all the different brands and things like that, but I tell people all the time, I said, y'all are focused on the wrong aspect of it. You need to be focused on that enclosure, because the enclosure is what's going to make the subwoofer do whatever it's supposed to do. You can either choose to play it at its optimum point, or you can play it at its shittiest point. That all depends. But just because I like Phi or I like Sundown does not mean that whatever somebody else chooses is shit. And the thing that bothers me about it in our industry now is that we're trying to appeal to the younger bass head crowd, right? We're trying to keep bass heads going. And so when you get these kids who are, you know, just getting their first system in or getting what they can afford, and they get Scar, they get CT sounds, or they get whatever they get, the first thing people in those groups do now is shit on them.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to discourage with my post. Like, hey, let's not shit on these guys because of what they chose. let them run their course or whatever they're running, and let them choose whatever they want to choose after. If they choose to continue with Scar for the next 10 years, then cool beans. As long as, I hate the statement, but somebody always says it, base is base. I fucking can't stand that statement. But
yeah.
Hey,
But
you remember what we talked about in that chat, though, between us four, right? The whole basis for the new kids or new mids on the block situation, right, was one thing, and that is there's a lot of negativity, and let's be honest, everybody's got an enemy or had some bad run-ins with equipments or companies, brand. As far as we're concerned with this collaboration, from here forward, we want everybody to know, like, there's nobody that's better than anybody else. We don't support one person more than another, but we do want to take time to think, like Sundown, Sparked Innovations, Amped Up, SoundCube in this case now, because Memphis brings a lot of new businesses to the table. We want to thank you guys for working with us, but at the same point, we don't want anybody to come into our live streams or our pages, our posts, and talk negatively, towards another brand or equipment. If you don't like it, take a minute, man, and walk away, because at one point, everybody here has had something that wasn't great quality didn't work well, and there's nothing that makes you better than another guy. And I'll tell you now, some of the most, look at Kerry in here. That's a 62 at 20 hertz, 22 hertz, right?
Yep.
He's in here talking to everybody and joking around, just like Larry Ricketts right there, right below him. And Larry's got a trunk build with a single subwoofer, and it jams. But that's the point, right? We all want to be nice, have some camaraderie, and grow together quickly. And if there's knowledge that can be gained out of the situation on your behalf, it's up to you to listen and or do your own thing, bro.
I'm going to need you to not add an extra A in camaraderie.
Hey, camaraderie, bro. It is camaraderie, and I got corrected by somebody that's an English teacher, so I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a big point. A lot of people talk about, like, I've been seeing a lot of talk about, everybody knows about different things that's been going on in the audio community. I've been seeing a lot of talk about, drama in the audio community, and my whole thing is that there's only drama if you're invested. If you're invested. I don't get invested into things that have nothing to do with me. So I don't have drama in car audio. And I was like, if a lot of people did more of that, then it wouldn't be such a big thing. But you got to think about it. There's so many people becoming or choosing to invest themselves in issues in audio that have nothing to do with them. That's what lights the fire.
Yeah.
And it's literally, it boils down to the statement of shut the fuck up and mind your own business, and we would be a whole lot better.
Well, you've done a lot of builds. Like Log's done. Okay, let's give Log a pat on the back, right? Because out of everybody in here, Log has done something that none of us can do. He's built a gold enclosure and pissed off a lot of people doing it, and made the thing louder than somebody that put a lot of effort into making it the most beautiful thing.
100%. 100%. The people that were hating on him for that aren't even nearly as loud.
It's something that is a one-off, right? He's grown his page exponentially more than any of us in here, right? Like, let's be honest here. We all could take a note from what type of a person Log is, right? When I met him, he was super outgoing and stuff, and he's done something none of us have done yet. But at the same point, each of us have also done nice builds or big builds or small builds, whatever it is, bro. At the end of the day, we just want to encourage the next group of people coming into the sport to have fun and try, right? Try not to be so aggravated. Everything is it's so niche, right? We're already a small group. The last thing we need is to have people pissed off with each other. So from here forward, on my behalf, if I myself or anybody here has ever made something, an unpleasant experience, I apologize. And from here forward, just understand that we're moving towards an influencer status. We're trying to be unbiased. We're trying to be happy and help you guys out. And, if there's anything we can do or anything that I can do to make things right, send me a message or reach out, and I'd be happy to do what I can.
I need a new set of subwoofers. That's the only thing that would make things right for me.
Well, I'll tell you what you can do. You can take this $1 and shove right up your ass.
That wasn't
you got more connections than me. Go get your own shit.
I'd like to add a little bit to that too. Is like the people starting out, like Memphis was talking about, like, yeah, they might buy CT Sounds or Scar, and they might run that for, till they're antique. But
till they carry.
The one thing that everybody's got to do better at is I think there's two sides to this. A is that if you are new, you don't exactly know what you're doing. you don't know how to tune stuff, you don't know how to spec an enclosure, maybe you don't know how to build an enclosure completely properly, is to be willing to accept constructive criticism. And then the other side of that is that I think a lot of people, I mean, I've been there myself sometimes, is maybe a little bit too harsh on the constructive criticism. But you got to be willing to at least help people out. Like, don't just go to a show and then this guy's got this stunt wall set up and it sounds like crap. Go over there and tell him it sounds like crap. And then tell them
do it nicely, like
not like that. Don't walk up and be like, "Hey, this sounds like shit."
Bro.
like, hey man, do you hear the distorting? There's not, like, your hi-hats aren't there.
And tell them to please take it outside of the show.
I've tuned I've tuned stunt walls and doors at a show before. I usually bring all of that equipment with me. But it's like you said find a way to tell them where, because the constructive criticism nowadays on social media is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. It's not constructive criticism. It's shit on stuff.
It's fucking trolling.
Yeah.
It's shit talking.
Criticism half the time, that's the issue. It's the perception of, if you're going to give somebody some advice, listen, Log's intelligent. He's got a very loud trunk wall setup at this point. Mike got probably one of the loudest trunk setups I've ever set in. JD, for instance, great with enclosures. Memphis, pretty well rounded. He's a builder and he's also, he does it for a living. At the end of the day, I'm not anything special, but I do take into effect, like, for instance, with my truck, I worked for 3.5 weeks with Ryan Collins from JS Alternators and stuff, who's an actual really intelligent guy with fluid dynamics and stuff. And I took that information and it helped me. Huh?
I said, hold on, Jake just said something. So that comment, the reason
issue, I try to help a lot of people show facts and proof to back up what I say, and they still want to argue.
Yeah.
You know what the problem is with that, Jake, is that you're too invested. That's why you get upset.
You're trying to help people too much that don't want to accept the help.
Yeah, give them the information that you have and then leave it alone. You're too invested. That's why it bothers you.
Oh, I've been there 100 times, especially like base heads on a budget. I just want to bang where people, and it blows my mind, dude. Like, somebody will ask it would be to us, like the 5 of us, it would be very basic information, right? And it's somebody that doesn't know anything about it, and they ask a question. It's a very simple answer. I could go through there and give the most thorough and well-articulated answer, and then you have 101 shitheads in there giving the wrong information, some of them on purpose, and then you're like the 1%er that has the right information, but to everybody else it looks wrong. So because they don't know anything, and you got 100 other people going, "Oh no, you need to do this." It's like,
well, that's the problem is with those pages. Like, I just want to bang, or base heads on a budget, or car audio, classified. Like, you got to understand your venue of where you're asking these questions to, and you got to understand that if you go on the internet, you say, "Hey, my car's got a misfire," and you ask 100 mechanics why your car's got a misfire, you're gonna get 100 fucking answers that are all
It's the alternator.
Reaching out to the right person.
It's probably the alternator.
If I've got an issue with an enclosure for some reason and I can't figure it out, I know there's a group of guys I could go relay this information to, and somebody like Log, Mike, Memphis, JD, they might be able to give me that information. I think something that we could do to help out with that, guys, I don't know if you're up for it, is when I make this page, you guys could potentially, if you want, send us requests or messages, and on live streams once a week we could kind of attend to trying to help you guys out, and in between there we'll do our best to help you as well. But understand that there's 100,000 base heads that ask questions and don't know what they're doing, or maybe are just indecisive and know what they want but not how to get there. And your answer from us might be different from somebody else. What you got to understand is, if you ask somebody for help, make sure the person you're asking for help, you stick with that. Because if you go and ask somebody for help, they give you a design, for instance, and then you go to XYZ person afterwards, that first person can't tell you what's wrong with this design that somebody else has done. Yeah. Or maybe they don't want to correct it because they don't want to be included in, where you're pitching somebody against somebody else, as a middle person.
Well, it's like in my business, when I build enclosures, I actually have lost business over the years by trying to educate people on what they have. And it's not that I'm trying to be biased or pushing on brands. It has nothing to do with that. But they ask honest questions. I'm going to give them honest answers.
Yep.
It's going to be in their best interest. And I try to teach and coach along the way because I said this on the last one too. You know, I've got people that I did a build for 3, 4, 5 years ago that still reach out and ask questions on audio stuff. I haven't made a penny in 4 or 5 years, but I will still damn sure answer that question for them because that's my job. I feel like it's in my best interest to help them because they're going to help me.
Well, you got to look at it like you have to appreciate the fact that somebody cared enough to ask you the question.
Yeah.
But that person also has to appreciate the fact that you're willing to return the help and take it to heart and not just go, you know what? You spent a lot of time giving me information or building me a design or going through the repertoire of actually putting something together, and they don't value the work that you're doing. So, for instance, like his comment, it's a matter. You have to make sure the people that you're trying to help are willing to appreciate the help that you're giving.
Well, I mean, there's only so much you can do, and you got to learn when to cut your ties too. You know what I'm saying? When people want to invest in you because you're trying to give them the best information possible and the best product possible, you'll know which ones want to stick around and which ones that won't. And
Yeah.
It's really simple to figure that one out.
Yeah, the people who are willing to accept, extra knowledge, even if it's something that you've heard before or something that you think that you're well versed in, I feel like it's always helpful to just listen and take in what people are saying. That way you can build it, build even more knowledge to it, because out of all the stuff he might be telling you the same thing that you know already, there'll be one thing or two things in there that will change.
And I don't always have the right answer, but I also try and point them in the right direction if I can't help.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather give them an opportunity and an avenue to go to the right person before they'll turn to them stupid pages and ask that damn question and cause nothing but controversy. Because I try to stay away from that stuff.
Can I ask each of you guys a question?
Yeah.
And this is something that I struggle with anxiety-wise on my behalf. How many of you have done something or built something that you were proud of at the moment, but you go to post it and you're afraid to post it because of the negativity in that sport?
All the time, dude.
I'll tell you now, I don't even like sharing my truck because I'm always afraid somebody's going to nitpick it. And I told my wife, I said, one thing with hanging out with Memphis and Log and Mike and our team and stuff and growing with this collab is I want to try to get to the point where the response from everybody around, not just for my stuff, but for each of these guys, right? Because I share what Mike shares. I share what Log puts out. I want them to grow just as much as anybody else. I want to try to get to a point where we don't have to feel any type of anxiety about sharing something. Like I'll tell you this, I can't even act like I'm an angel, because at points I've wanted to choke Log for his build. But Log is a special one because he plays stupid, and he's literally smarter than most 90% of people when it comes to car audio, and you can see it in his build. I'll tell you this now, Log went out and did the funniest troll build that I've ever seen. And it fucking does numbers. It sounds good. It's loud. And nobody can tell him he doesn't know what he's doing.
And it's well built, too.
It's well built. It's strong. I can tell you right now, if you got to get a fucking Sawzall out to cut your box apart, you've done it right.
It's hard.
I've seen plenty of guys put an enclosure together that how many boxes, JD, have you put together or seen put together by another business that weren't fucking screwed together? They're brad nailed and no glue. They blow apart at the seams, and it's funny. But Log shits over there. I see everybody giving him advice on what to do with this enclosure. And then after knowing him now, I'm like, you guys are stupid. You don't understand. He knows what he's doing. He's doing this to piss you off because it's engagement.
He's been in car audio a long time, and he knows he's been around a lot of it too. He didn't just make a build and then go with it. Motherfuckers had 5 different brand subs just in the last 12, 13 months. I'm not even joking.
I was laughing when he joined Sundown with the Scar Doors. We had that conversation.
Yeah.
But he has the budget stuff in the front half of the car and the best stuff you could basically buy in the back half of the car. And that, I'll tell you, when you know what you're doing properly, you can blend that stuff together. His doors sound good. They're not overpowered by the bass. He's done well. Like Mike's car, I'll tell you now, I was very, very intrigued with how loud your car is for what's in there. Considering it's not sealed off, you've done extremely well, man. Like, I'll tell you this. I've done trunk builds and been proud of them that aren't as good as what you guys have both done.
Hell
So
yeah.
if I have a question on something like that, I'm willing to go take that advice from you guys and ask a question. You know, JD does these truck boxes, and they're pretty. I can't sit here and tell you I've done 200 truck boxes or could do it as fast as him or even as good as he can. So, of course, I would reach out to somebody like that. But to bank off of the whole fact of, you know, asking questions and not feeling bad to ask those questions, Mike's a great venue to ask questions to. It seems like Josh is really great with it, right? Because, I mean, he's already answering questions, and your customers have said that you're great about it. And, you know, Log literally lives on his phone all day about car audio. So between all of us, if you have a question, at least on my thing, I'm going to volunteer. So if you have a question, you want an unbiased answer, reach out to us. We're not going to tell you Scar's better than somebody else or Sundown's better than Fi or something along those lines. Just be prepared to get some information based off of, you know, who's willing to work with us and who we would use in our venue.
And not only that, you and your big builds, you know, and just builds in general, you're a very educated builder, and you've built extreme builds that are way bigger than anything I've ever built. And you do amazing with it. They do not only do they look good, but they're ridiculously windy, loud, C-pillar builds going crazy,
Yep.
you know.
I'm really hard on myself in a sense, and I think it's because of the dulling in the sport. Like I like what this has turned into, because, like I said the other night, the conversation I had with Memphis and you guys, it's perked me up and made me a lot less worried about what others think. But the flip side to that is I also want to make sure that others are not afraid to ask us questions, because there's plenty of reasons to be nervous to ask something, but you're never as dumb as the moment before you ask a question. Right? And it's not dumb. It's just that you're ignorant to the fact that you don't know, and there's nothing that makes you stupid. It's not like you're gonna, you know, you're not gonna scare us off by asking. And that doesn't mean to come out. There's a million people out there, right? Like, I made friends with Ryan from JS, or Jacob Morris is really talented. Kyle's really talented. You know, you've got people like David Cook who go to shows that are, as much as he tries to act like he doesn't know what he's doing, he's good. I love it.
Honestly, though, so touching on that, whenever I post things, so I'm not posting it necessarily, you know, to see what other people are thinking or anything like that. I'm posting it just to throw it out there. And no matter what somebody says about the build or what I'm doing, I know what it is.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what they think it is. You know, they could think it's whatever, you know?
Oh, dude.
I'm still going to show up to a show and do what I do.
I've had hundreds of people tell me, oh, you need to turn your box around. Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm like, bro, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't telling me shit, because I ain't turning nothing around.
Look at your enclosure, like with the steel plate. Everybody says, oh, it's not going to be enough. I'm like, how the fuck do you think that plate steel is not going to be stronger than fucking an inch and a half of wood?
Yeah, literally.
Mike's welding his enclosure in his car, bro. I think it's going to be just fine. I don't. I've got a light extreme build basically at the end of this month, and my shit doesn't have steel in it. So you're already one step above me. So I'm not going to sit here and question you. I do think that you'd gain if you sealed it off. But I also know that you like being able to do the number that you do, and that's also something to fall back on. I do 54s from a trunk, and I'm not even sealed off yet. I've got a single 18. I've got fucking ripped roof, ripped back window. My fucking glass is shut. Like, you know, you guys have done well in what you're doing. So, you know, at the end of the day, you got to look at it and take the good with the bad. But the whole goal for me would be basically to tell them, because fuck them, that's why.
Yeah. That's literally what, Mike, when you were saying, like, you get anxiety about, like, and I know people have different, like, their minds work completely different. Like, if we all were the same, it'd be so boring. But this is literally me. I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah, literally.
I don't.
That's the way to do it.
I just, you know, I get so worried about judgmental things, and I know community standards, right? Some people are not going to like you. and they'll talk down even if you did a good job in your opinion. You know, we all have knowledge to be gained. What I knew 3 years ago compared to what I know now is dwarfed, and I've competed since 2006. I didn't even have a license my first show that I won, and my father drove the car there, and everybody thought, you know, my dad won the show. I'm like, bro, I won that at 15 years old. I was happy with what I did, right? So lay off and leave me alone and let me bask in the fact that I did something good for me. And if you don't like it, you don't have to like it, bro. But there's no reason for people to put you down. If you got Scar, I don't give a shit what you got in there. I'm going to tell you now. I've sat in some builds that had no name subs in them and shit that were freaking woofers. There's no difference if you've got a $1,500 or Sundown subwoofer or if you've got, you know, $40 fucking Walmart power acoustics. I don't care. I just want to get in and see everybody be engaged and smile and be like, you know what? Cool. You don't even have to tell. If you don't even like it, you don't even have to comment and say anything negative. You can always walk away. It's the constant flack people throw at each other about, oh, well, it could have been louder, it could have been windier. I'm like, well,
and with audio, so it's something that's constantly evolving and changing. Over the last month, you know, I've learned things. I'm constantly learning with audio.
Me too. Yeah.
And nobody could say that they know all about it because, like I just said, there's always something to learn, and that's one thing that I love about it. It's there, you can always do better, and in different ways too. There's 50 different ways to get.
Do you play video games either, or any of you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I have like 7,000 hours in Arc. If you've ever heard of Arc.
Yep.
Okay, so
that's impressive.
We've learned everything that you could learn in the game and got to the point where the servers are literally capped. You can't get better than what you've got. What made me walk away from that game after all those hours invested over the last, 15 years was the fact that you can't do anything more. You've figured everything out. I can tell you right now, to bank on that, what you just said, I like the fact that you could ask Log to do something, Mike to do something, Josh or myself to do something, and all four of us are going to have a different answer.
Oh, yeah.
Every one of them is going to get you to the end goal in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's what makes everything fun, is not knowing, right? Like, I can tell you, I live vicariously. I can't afford to have 10 big-ass builds laying around. So when I get to build something, I'm sure Josh gets this out of it. When you build something for somebody and you see your box over there just fucking getting it, it makes you smile, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's the best part.
It's like that's the best feeling on the planet, because at the end of the day, you know it's going to work. You've done that design before. I don't design anything for anybody that I haven't tried for myself and made work for me, because I don't want, the flack of building a flop or something along those lines. I know there's a lot of builders that do, but I tend to stick with what I know works, and that works for the customers. They're usually pretty happy. I mean, I've got like 35 or 40 builds running around across the country right now that do.
You understand that's a possibility.
But the possibility of that one car having an issue with a firewall or a fucking roof being torn or a loose window or something might cause that one build to sound like butthole. Yep. Whatever. We'll address it and fix it. But that's the banking fact on, if you go to somebody for help and you're receptive to their help in the beginning, if the end goal is not exactly what you wanted, before you jump ship and you go jump in somebody else's bed, give them a chance to correct what they're doing.
Yeah.
I've had people leave and go to somebody else and still end up coming back. I mean,
yeah,
it happens.
Dion,
I almost prefer it that way sometimes, so they can see that the grass isn't greener on the other side, and not everybody cares about your best interests. So,
yeah.
I wanted to address Dion's comment right here. There's no winning in audio. I was feeling a type of way about that comment, but then he came back with this. And that is winning in audio right there.
Having fun. Being yourself.
Because I'll tell you right now, every time I go to a show or talk with you guys about audio or whatever, it's winning. For me, it's winning. Like, I have a good time with all this shit. I love going to shows. Like, I know you guys know, like, when I go to a show with the wife, we go and do something else. So, like,
you guys
it's not just about going to the show, but that's why we went to Florida or North Carolina or wherever we went, is for the audio show. We go there, we enjoy it. I love hanging out with people, meeting new people, bullshitting, getting some demos, giving demos. Like, it's all winning to me.
Well, Dion told you he meant in the fact of pleasing the haters, and I'll tell you something about research and stuff, Dion, because I know I know you're talented. I've seen some of the builds that you do, but I know that you're not like a 15-year veteran in design work. You know, I've been designing and building since probably 2003.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm better than anybody or say that I've got more. I don't. But I've learned from people like Dominic Martino, who's a lead designer for Maxonics back in the 90s and 2000s. You know, I've hung out with Jacob Morris since we were teens and stuff. You know, I've hung out with Mike Singer and fucking Randon Fall, Chris Tatalacci, guys that were names at that point that now today are kind of out of the limelight, except for Jacob, of course. And I look at it like,
I know that, Dion.
There's a million people you can go to and talk to and get that information from. But as far as not winning in the sense of people talking shit, I'll tell you what our goal is, and what we had one main thing, and that was we're not going to feed into the people that talk shit. We're going to kill them with the fact that we're going to succeed one way or another on our own, regardless of how they hate it. And I'll tell you the one thing that you do to unequivocally piss somebody off that hates or talks shit or is a negative person is prove that they're wrong in a positive way without being negative like they were.
Right there, dude. Just being you. And so I feel like the biggest win is not like maybe taking revenge on somebody or doing something to prove somebody wrong. It's just continuing to do whatever the hell you were doing.
Yeah.
You know?
I like you, Log. I'm going to tell you, like, no bullshit. You and Mike, I've never seen Mike say anything negative about anybody. I've never seen Log say anything negative about anybody. Josh has been very, very eloquent in saying what he's got to say. There's a lot of, I think the number one thing that I see at a show, and I don't know how about you guys, right? But to a degree, when you guys go to a show, I know it because I've seen it. And even with me, like at Sundown, it's fun to see them walk up to us kind of like a celebrity, right? And then they get a demo and they're like, wow, you're really nice. I didn't expect for you to want to talk to me for a minute. I'm like, why the hell wouldn't I want to talk to you?
Yeah.
Dude, it's weird that you say that because, like, I would say my number one thing that I get on social media and stuff when people reach out and they're like, man, I'm sorry for bothering you. I'm sorry for bugging you. I understand if you don't want to answer my question, or like just that as a whole drives me absolutely insane because that is the physical norm for people nowadays to immediately apologize before they even ask the damn question because they feel bad about doing it.
Or I've had one literally just earlier today saying, you know, they asked me a question that is, you know, like, where do you ground or whatever. I'm pretty sure that was what the question was. Just like, I'm dumb. And then he said he called himself dumb. I'm like, dude, it's not even about that. Like, everybody starts somewhere, no matter what. It's not dumb asking a question.
He took the time to ask you the question, bro. If anything, you're less dumb than the next guy because you took the moment to actually learn something from it.
Yeah,
Like, let's be straight.
The dumbest question is the question never asked.
How many guys do you talk to on a day-to-day basis that will not ask a question? They will ruin something or destroy an amplifier, or fuck a subwoofer up, or blow mids and highs because they're too good for their own eccentricity to take a moment and say, hey, Mike, Jay, your doors sound great, bud. Could you tell me what maybe would be a good starting point for my tuning frequency and my filter? Right. Or, hey, Dog, your enclosure does great. Would you share a design? You know how many guys will message me and they're like afraid to ask me about my enclosure because they like the way it sounds. They're like, well, how do I get a low note like that? I'm like, I could walk you through the 10-step process of how I designed my enclosure. Mm-hmm. I'll give you the design. I don't give a shit because if my design is in your truck and it jams and it brings a big ass crowd, all that does is reflect well upon me.
Yep.
I'm not going to hold my knowledge away from somebody. And there are people out there that I do see that are a little bit more, you know, how do you call it? Shrouded. Like they're a little bit more, I'm going to keep my knowledge for me.
They won't give their design out. They won't show even pictures of their port.
Exactly. The whole point is, for our team, for instance, is we build within the team, right? Like Mike knows this. If he's not building it himself and he needs help, he knows that there's 30 other guys or 40 other guys that can help him put something together or vice versa. Or I know that if I need help to put mine together, my whole point is why would you hold that knowledge to yourself when you could help those guys? And then the next time that they need help, they don't have to bug you and ask you questions. They've got the knowledge that they can pass on to the next dude.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not doing nothing to help anybody. You're just hurting people. And I'll tell you right now, that in my opinion is what the quick fire way to be the biggest asshole ever is to tell people that or to troll them and give them the wrong answer just because you don't like what they're doing or the equipment they're running.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've seen it. I've seen questions and shit like that and posts and stuff. And I'm like, listen, if you don't know, don't speak on it. Don't be malicious. Give it to somebody that does know. I can guarantee you I don't have an answer for everything. For instance, if I don't know about your alternator and you're asking about issues, Ryan knows damn well I don't have a problem with calling him and being like, hey, this guy's regulator's doing some funky shit. Can you fix it or give him some advice? Yep. And that nets customers. That nets people that are now your friends. Mike J joined our team literally because he's seen how we worked on that stuff. And not to say like, we're better than anybody or anything else, but the fact that we work together has helped people grow. That's what everybody should be doing.
I'll lay 2 facts out. 1, I wouldn't be here today if I didn't ask questions. And 2, I wouldn't be here today if the people with the knowledge didn't pass it along.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So 100%. Those 2 factors make or break everything, and taking the time to ask the questions to the right people will make your world go around. And the people that teach you that knowledge, you'll eventually learn a way that best suits your methods that you can apply that later on to somebody else.
Yep.
And
I can tell you now, we just asked Log the other day because his social media has grown like his social media is 35 times what mine is right now as far as followers are concerned.
And a little asshole.
I'm gonna go ask this son of a bitch how
it's growing.
He's fucking. I'm gonna tell you what's crazy.
Ridiculous.
2 or 3 days ago, I fucking gave him a congratulations for hitting 30K. He's already almost to 40.
Thank you.
I'm gonna tell you, he's fucking killing it. Of course, I'm gonna learn that knowledge from him because let's be straight here. Our whole goal for this entire thing is for the social media to take off to a point to where if we don't have the money to pay out of pocket to get to a show, it'd be nice if we could travel to a show together as a group.
Exactly.
Hit more. We want to fucking get that advice out to people. We want them to feel welcome to come out and ask questions and deal with companies. I can tell you now, for instance, in chat right there, Jessica, I met her at Sundown. Now, I've talked to her on message probably for the last year and a half through Sundown because we're on Team Sundown and stuff and other things. Very smart lady. But she kept playing herself down at the show. Oh, your truck. I'm like, I don't give a shit about my truck. Give me a fucking demo. Let me go over here and hear your car. There's no reason for anybody to ever walk up to me or Mike or Log or yourself and go, you know what? I'm afraid to say anything or talk about my car and how proud I am of what I've done because yours is way louder than mine. Why?
I don't go to shows for the demos. I do go to shows for the demos, don't get me wrong, but I don't go to shows for the demos. I go to shows for the experiences I get to have with the ones that are giving the demos and the people I get to meet and the relationships I get to build and then the future relationships to come from those builds.
Look,
it has nothing to do with business. It has something. I met a good person that has good interests, and it's good for me. And
in a perfect reasoning here to explain everything, Josh. I know when you see somebody that does nicer work than you, I don't know if you do the same thing, but if I see a box design or something that just looks fucking wicked, I'll take a screenshot of it and I'll try and find a way to implement that or learn from it to do that maybe at some point or gain the knowledge to do it in case somebody asks about it.
Yep.
Chet Mount Pleasant that just commented in here is on our team. And I'm going to tell you something. For 2 years, I've been afraid to talk to that guy before I actually got a chance to know him because he's a big guy. He's got several very nice looking builds that are fairly loud. I mean, we're talking like every one of his builds is either high 50 or low 60s on music. And we're talking like 412 builds doing that. I was afraid to talk to the guy and ask him some questions or maybe bank information from the guy because his finish work, in my opinion, his finish work is nicer than mine. Now, I'm hard on myself. Maybe some of my finish work does look as nice, but I don't have all the tooling that dude does. And he's great at what he does. But I'm afraid in a lot of cases to go and reach out to somebody like that because I don't know how the fuck I'm supposed to, How do you go and tell somebody, hey, I build for a living. You do nicer work than me. Can I learn from you? But I made friends with the dude. We've been talking for the last couple months now. He joined our team. And, I'm emphatically happy to have people like that around because it makes me strive to be better than what I was.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put yourself in a group of winners or a group of losers, bro. Because if you're hanging out with everybody that does worse work than you, I'm not knocking anybody. We all learn and grow. You're never going to get better.
I'm going to add your ass here in a minute. You said something really good there. You're just smart, man.
I love
Be
that.
friends with winners or losers. That should be our fucking slogan, bro.
Well, I mean, that's what it comes down to, man. I mean, you've seen the old saying, you know, you put a rich man with a group of bums for a couple of years, he's going to become a bum. Put a bum with a group of rich men, he's going to learn things and he's going to move mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Matthew, I tagged you in this because we were talking about people that help people out in the car audio scene. And so he runs Only Tints.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
He's in Michiana. And so he offered to, so he puts a show on, I think it's every Sunday up in Michigan. And he offered me to bring my car out to his shop. This was months and months ago. And I had just got my doors done, and he's been trying to get me to come up there so he can tune my doors for me, because I've never done any actual tuning with a mic and everything. So I brought my car up there and into his shop on, I think it was a Sunday. Like he went to his shop, he's doing like a tint job or something, got done with that, pulled my car in, and he sat there and spent time tuning it. He showed me what he was doing. I asked questions, he answered. He let me learn from him, and we got my car all dialed in, which, Matt, by the way, I figured out why I was blowing a tweeter after the fact. I don't remember if I told you that or not, but which was my fault. But yeah, he brought me up to his shop, taught me a bunch of stuff, dialed my car in for me, sent me on my way. Didn't ask for a dime. I tried to pay the guy. He wouldn't accept any money. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to him because, yeah, I did tell him why I blew that up. Just wanted to give a shout out to him because he's like us. We're willing to help people learn, be better. You know, I'm not trying to let people, like the constructive criticism go. I'm not, if I get in your build and your doors sound like they're ready to blow up because they're distorting so bad, like, I'm probably going to be like, hey man, have you ever messed with the setting? Like, do you have a DSP? Have you ever done, the LPF, HPF on your head unit? Have you done anything with it? And try to help them just to sound better and not blow equipment up. But I just want to give a shout out to him. He was asking why he got tagged in here. So that's it, man. Just a good guy.
Sounds like a wonderful dude.
He's got loud shit too, by the way.
I don't doubt it. You can't be on Ain't Loud and not be at least loud.
Yep.
But I will tell you, like Sundown Show, for instance, that guy with the fella that had the Charger that I brought over, that had the dreads and sat in here. Yeah. He blew his subs up and stuff. He's like, why are you bringing me over to these ones? I'm like, before I walk you over and introduce you to Jacob and these guys to get your drop-ins, take 2 minutes and come sit in a couple of cars that have the same equipment, which is why I brought them over to Logscar and Kyler's, and take a listen to what it could sound like if it was properly set up. Because 99% of the failures that people have are not equipment related. It's execution on the install. That's it. Yeah. Not to say that people don't know what they're doing or, they're too good to ask. A lot of people aren't too good to ask, but they don't even know where to go to get that information.
Right.
So it's nice to have people like Matthew Kramer or, Mike Log, Josh, whoever, Eric Humphreys, another dude that I talk to all the time who owns Hump Audio.
Yep.
The guy's smart. And it's nice to see where their minds go because, a normal guy will put something together and not know what they're doing. But instead of asking the question, they'd rather take the time to try and learn, which I can respect. So that, it's nice to have somebody to ask for the knowledge. But if you're one of those guys that learns by failure, I respect it.
I do that a lot, honestly. Like I know Mike has seen me do that where I get, really awesome information and I'm like, I just got to try this.
Yep.
Just to try it, fails. All right, cool.
Next. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like most of my customers that come in, especially when we pull up the O-scope and tune anything. I usually don't go make them sit on the couch over there or something. I get them back there and I say, hey, I want you to sit next to me. I'm showing you what all these filters do, why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want you to watch the scope and understand what a sine wave is.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not for me to add reassurance to what I'm doing for them as a business, but it's for them to understand how their equipment works.
Yeah.
And that's also why I put so much information in these customers for you to come. It's not so much job security is it's a sense of ease when it comes to who they're dealing with, and the more they know, the better off I am, because I've had customers that have driven 5-6 hours for an install after I did a box build for them.
Yeah.
I don't want them to have to drive 5 hours back to have a problem that can be fixed in 5 minutes. But if they watched what happened and I showed them what I was doing along the way,
Yep. It's
they
easier
could
to
probably take care of it without having to pick up the phone to call me or having to drive for 5 hours
Yeah.
one way and being pissed off and causing problems.
Or even if they did have to call you, at least they watched. Like for me, I'm watching and being part of a hands-on thing that I don't know anything about. But if I went home and I called you up and said, "Hey, man, XYZ," you could be like, "Hey, yeah, remember when we were doing this, this, and this? Oh yeah, shit, yeah, okay, I'll whatever." And then it's just easier. Yeah.
I'll tell you,
explain something to them that they've never put their eyes on. Yeah, it's not going to happen very well.
Yep. And Eric made a good point. I know Log kind of brushed over this earlier with the fact that stuff's changing all the time. Like if you look at Jacob Fuller's R&D and everything that has come out with and he's coming out with, he's got prototypes, he's got ideas out there. It's like I know for a fact that Jake has stuff lined up that could be like years of equipment in the future, and he's already has it. It's either close to getting released or in production, or he's got stuff that he can just keep dropping. And as years go by, I know like some of the stuff he's tinkered with and changed this or that because he's learned something else. So yeah, stuff is always changing.
I don't know if y'all can enlighten on this for me. I have followed Sundown quite a bit here lately, and the amount of new prototypes and new production stuff that he's releasing is phenomenal. That I almost feel like, and don't take this out of context, but like say they release a Call of Duty, right? And before it gets good or has the potential to get good, that there's another one that gets dropped and it's already up.
Look at
He's
it.
got a lot of brands coming, or a lot of levels of subs coming out.
Well, look at one thing though. To touch on that for you pivot. For instance, those compact Neo V3s. Mike and I heard this conversation in Log when we were up there. They've had those subwoofers for years. He still just got a fresh order of the new R&D coils in for that motor to improve it again. So I will say one thing on behalf of that, and that is, even if it's old tech through Jake and Sundown as a whole, it's old tech that's still being improved to this day. I mean, the Neo Pro V3s for the longest time, Mike, I don't know if you remember, but they didn't have drop-ins for them.
Right.
They're fantastic mids. It took 4 years of those mids being out for him to get drop-ins. But when you have, because he's put comments out on his page, when you have 8 to 10 years worth of R&D products ready to go, basically, right? Either things that you've already catted out, designed, it's ready for production for testing, at least on a prototype schedule or something along those lines. Like, it's tough, but he's the only one, aside from maybe, like I would say maybe Nick Lemons or the guys over at Incriminator and stuff that are, in my opinion, like actually physically R&Ding equipment to this day. There's plenty of build house things out there, and there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Right.
But to a degree, we need to be thankful too that we have somebody at the helm of that company, at least on a designing scale, that is that motivated to do that work, because there's not many guys out there that either one know how to do it or two are willing to do that work. I got a chance to talk with Morello Alvarez in there, and he actually brought Ricky and I aside the table to show us how they test the amplifiers for distortion.
Yep, I saw his little setup there. Yeah,
and I'm like, it's insane. The dudes, I mean, these guys are astronomically intelligent on a scale past what I'll ever be at. I could only tell them thank you for teaching us how it works.
Yeah.
But if you ask me right now to help do some testing or something like that, that's
no idea.
That I would never know what the hell.
Yeah.
And I consider myself fairly intelligent when it comes to tuning amplifiers and shit. I know how to get by. I got a 60+ build that plays music I daily drive, and I've got
what's up, Eric?
Customers that run around all over stereos everywhere and shit. My thing is like, guys like that are hard to come by. Like,
yeah.
I can appreciate the innovative side of things, but as a consumer, I guess I don't get to keep up with all platforms of social media. I am pretty busy, but from a consumer standpoint, it seems like there was a Z5, then ZV6, and now a ZV7. So it just seems like boom, boom, boom. I'm only seeing it from one side of things. I don't know how many years. I I haven't been in audio extreme. Most of you guys have been in this stuff way longer than I have, and just kind of trickled into my lap over the last 8 years that I've taken this industry pretty serious. But
Yeah.
from a consumer standpoint and not knowing Jacob's background and just seeing from
The crazier side,
it's just like,
the crazier side to it is to realize that for every subwoofer you see brought to market, there's probably been 10 prototypes for each. I got a chance to sit with my business partner in Jacob's office for about 20 minutes with him before the big crowd showed up in the day and look at some of the prototypes. And he had like 4 prototypes for an NSV4 before the actual NSV4 motor got chose. And then the original NSV4 motor wasn't black. So
Right.
it's kind of neat to see, like, for instance, the U6.5, the big ones they've got, the W surround now.
Yep.
Jake has another subwoofer sitting in his office that's a 6.5 that was a predecessor to that. That looks nothing like it. You guys remember the old VVXs that he had a hand on from Scar before he dipped away? It looks like that, but this 6.5 has a motor that's like that fucking tall on it. And he's like, I got everything perfect, except I couldn't get him, the mechanical movement that I wanted. I'm like, well, you got a 6.5 that's fucking 10 inches tall and a spider that's this big. How are you going to do it? And he's like, you wouldn't believe the thing moves like 3 inches. I'm like, what the fuck, man? How you?
Yeah.
He's so much of a wizard with the stuff that he does that I could only ask to pick some of that knowledge up. And that's why, like, anytime I see him doing something, I try to, like, absorb a little bit of it. But I did, on the other side of what you're saying, it kind of scares you. Like, for instance, I just bought 815s from them for my truck, and that's kind of the newest shit, right? The SDDN is the newest thing in the market. But I'm scared because I know the ZV7 is getting ready to come right out, and I know that there's going to be
the ZV7 is still not going to be as powerful as the SDDN, though.
Yeah,
it's close behind it, but it's not as
but
good.
You look at it like I'm nervous because I've had the Team V2s forever, right? Like, to this day, though, I've worked with Jake and I've worked with Brian and I've worked with several guys over there, and they're still willing to tool custom parts for guys like us if we ask. Like, they built me custom spiders for my woofers that weren't brought to market, so I've got one-off subwoofers at the moment, and that's cool to me. So even though that those woofers kind of got released quick, because what, Mike? It's probably been like a 6 or 7 year span between the ZV4, 5, and 6.
Yeah,
it's still 6 years. In 6 years, I can tell you I've had probably 40 different builds.
Yep. And like Chris Coffey, Decaf Music, says right here, just like car manufacturers, they regularly change generations 2 to 4 years. And I mean, it's the same kind of thing. And it's like, for like us, we're always looking for, I couldn't care less if it was a year or two. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they had another, like an SDDN V2 or something more badass than that next year or the year after, like, okay, my SDDN's going up for sale. Boom, here, I'll take the second version right now. But
that's pretty much what I'm feeling like I agree with, because I know he's got a Team V3 coming. For those that aren't aware, he's got that Sundown's going to have a new team woofer out at some point. Like, we know some details on it. Like, Jake is very coy with new stuff that the knowledge doesn't get out before it's supposed to. But I promise you, when my fucking the Team V3s pop, I promise you whatever's in my truck will be gone. Or if the Lumens drop first, I promise you I'll be selling a kid or something to buy them.
Have you guys seen this Malibu that he's talking about?
Yeah, bro, it's bagged.
Bro, this is. I told him I'm retiring my Malibu because of this one.
Literally,
it's fucking insane, dude. Top to bottom, side to side, inside out. I mean, it's
gonna be loud too.
And it's like, yeah, it's gonna be ridiculous, and it looks awesome. It's like Logan said, it's on airbags. Like, the trunk, I'm gonna pull it up because
the trunk's done up really nice. Lights and everything. The tank setup is so nice. Thankfully, I know me and Eric has been friends on TikTok for a while, and then we went here on Facebook, and he's been sharing things with me through private messaging, and man, I'm just super grateful that he's allowing me to see some of that stuff before other people do even.
Yeah.
That's super clean.
Gotta find some.
I'm telling you what, man.
Eric, send me some pictures. I mean, I can get them off of here, off Facebook, but it doesn't do it any justice in my mind. But yeah, here's the trunk.
That's insane looking. I like that.
So if you're near Bloomington, Illinois, you definitely want to check out Wretched Audio if you want a build done.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that one. Now I know what you're talking about.
He's not. I don't know how far along it is right now, but
he said by the end of this coming weekend it should be demo ready.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Bro just took a 2019 Malibu. I mean, granted, it's not $100,000 vehicle or something, but still, and fucking B-pillared it.
He pulled a Ricky and basically took a brand new car and decided to chop it all up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I applaud your level, sir. Are you a citizen?
Dude.
You guys remember what was that movie? Like Starship Troopers. I applaud.
Yeah.
Look, you even get the stars and the fireworks.
Okay, here we go. Here's more of the trunk finished out. So you got the sidewalls up. But yeah, this thing's gonna be. This thing is pretty awesome. Oh, here we go.
Ooh.
Got Ruthless amps in there.
Ruthless in there. Ruthless plus Sundown. Been seeing great things.
Yep.
It's pretty.
Man, look at that tank setup.
You know what? I that's all pretty, but I'll tell you right there, that wire management, that's what you need.
But I like spaghetti.
You listen, Log.
Yeah, that's the red one that you've seen, Charles. Yep.
Got the rigatoni noodles stuffed with cheese.
The rigatoni.
Logatoni.
The logatoni.
Log it up.
Well, listen, guys, I appreciate you letting me come on here and bullshit with you for a bit, but I've got a hot date with the new Borderlands movie and my wife and some Taco Bell or something. I'm starving.
Oh yeah, it's about that time anyway, I feel.
It's we've gone pretty damn far on this. If anybody is interested in seeing that Malibu, though, like I know there's better pictures and videos of it, but you can go on Wretched Audio's Facebook page.
Oh yeah.
I think that's Wretched Audio. So I'll post it up real quick.
It's mind blowing, Jessica.
That's how you spell it.
Just like how did they get the wires like that?
And honestly, I've never met Eric before. I've seen some of his builds and stuff. So like this isn't me like trading services or something for like a shout out. Like, the dude has nice builds. So he does great work. So that's just purely hats off to you, my guy. But yeah, I think it's time. 2.5 hours is probably the longest episode we've done, especially Log. He's usually I see he switched to his phone because his laptop died or something.
No, I went and brought my laptop inside and plugged it in.
Oh, you plugged it in? Right on.
Look at that just the raw attentiveness. Hey, so do me a favor though. If you guys will, Mike and Log should be on the live on Thursday, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Let's get on there and finish up some extra details about our giveaway that we're doing with the 150 dB stuff, and then some information on when we're going to start our lives for the other stuff that we're doing. I appreciate you guys for letting me be on, and Josh, it was really cool meeting you, bro.
Yeah, it's really awesome getting to talk to you, Josh, and get to learn a little bit more about you and just who you are as a person and the approaches you take with box building. So it was really awesome getting that.
And let me know when you get that truck back so you can duplicate that enclosure for me.
I will do my best for you, bud.
All right, man.
All right, guys.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Guys.
See ya. All right, I'm out of here. Don't forget to check out all the people that support us, help support them, including JS Alts and